Okay, good day, guys. Good day to you all. Welcome back to the Formula Sports channel. Thanks for being here. Sorry for the late start. Wanted to start at 11 o'clock. Ended up starting at what is it now? 11:16. So, my apologies for that, guys. Man plan. What I saying that man plan and God wipe. That's what the saying go. You guys know the saying, but we're here and we are here to preview a big upcoming game today, right? Jamaica versus Mexico, guys. World Cup qualifying action at the National Stadium in an almost empty National Stadium, right? Which is a shame. We hear Damian Lowe lamenting, at the whole issue with no fans in the stands and that he just cannot understand it, right? I don't think anybody can understand it. We're the only team in CONCACAF that doesn't have fans in our stands. I don't think anyone can understand it. But I think we have lamented about that for quite a long time, right? Before I get into the video, hold on 1 second. For starters, you guys would have seen the breaking news from Coach's Desk earlier. Before we get into the preview, you guys would have saw the breaking news from Coach's Desk earlier on. Big up Coach Minzy wherever you are. Coach's Desk would have broken the news that, a kit deal with that big brand Adidas is imminent, right? And Adidas is a massive brand, and that can do that, particular, would you call it a sponsorship kit deal? That particular kit deal, I think, can be a big deal for Jamaica's football. There's no doubt about it. I mean, just think about it. Adidas is a far bigger brand than the brand that we currently have the kit deal with. And that's no disrespect to them. It's just the truth, it's just the facts. Adidas is a far bigger brand, right? And can give our brand, the Reggae Boyz brand, far more exposure, right? And that's just facts. Far more exposure we can get from having a kit deal with Adidas versus the kit deal that we currently have, right? So I was very pleased. I was very pleased to hear that. Very pleased to hear Coach break that news earlier today. So big up Coach. Guys, smash the like button as soon as you guys come in. Free and easy way to support. Free and easy way to support the channel. Yeah, so that's the first thing. The second thing I want to talk about quickly. Yeah, so hopefully that particular deal gets over the line. Hopefully, Coach said the deal is imminent. It's close to, going over the line. So hopefully that particular deal can get over the line because it can benefit Jamaica's football greatly and give us great exposure. The next thing I want to talk about quickly is some transfers that have taken place involving some young footballers in recent times. So the first one I want to talk about is Jabari Hilton, and he has made a move to, what's the name of the club here? Is it Bienvenido? I think that is the name of the club in El Salvador, right? So that is a good look for him personally. That is a very good look. Let me just confirm it. No lie. The name of the club is no lie. Foolish me attack people. The name of the club is Deportivo FC. My bad. Deportiva FC is the name of the club. Talking foolishness about Bienvenida. Isn't Bienvenida some word in Spanish? It is Deportiva FC, right? Jabari Hilton, so he would have broken that on his Instagram. Also, Simon Preston would have broken news yesterday that Chantomai Taylor would have signed for Brazilian club Rio Branco FC on a 1-year deal, right? And Simon Preston also stated that Roderick Granville is closing in on a deal with the same team, right? So, Simon Preston would have broken that particular news yesterday, right? And Simon Preston is a very credible source. Still on some more transfer news, Xander Bicknell, and you guys know Xander Bicknell, he's out of the Craig Butler stable, right? He reported on his Instagram that he signed for Fortuna Cologne. Is it Cologne or Cologne? You guys know what I'm talking about. But Fortuna Cologne, I think is how they pronounce it. And he apparently is playing with the U17 team, right? So you can go on his Instagram and check that out as well. He has the picture with the shirt and everything. So, Xander Bicknell is reporting that he has signed for this team in Germany, their U17s. So wish all of these players all the best, right? And, it's always a good look to see these young players making moves out of Jamaica. It's a good look when we export these players overseas. It's a good look when these players make moves out of Jamaica, right? It can only help them to improve and become better players and, hopefully benefit Jamaica, further down the line. So big shout out to these players. Just a little bit of transfer news for you guys before we get into it. The second thing I want to do is touch a little bit on our record with Mexico. Touch a little bit on our record against Mexico. Right? So I think it's on screen right now for you guys. Jamaica national football team record versus Mexico. So we gave you guys the transfer news earlier, just an update where that is concerned. Now we're getting into our record versus Mexico. So guys, overall we have played Mexico 29 times. I'm a little bit surprised that it is not more than that. I feel like we have played Mexico. I mean, obviously I wasn't around for all of the times that we have played Mexico, but I think I don't know. It just feel like we would have played Mexico far more than 29 times. But we have played them 29 times. Jamaica has lost 20 times. So out of the 29 times that we have played Mexico, we have lost 20 times. Big up, big deal in. 20 games we have lost, right? We have won 6. We have won 6 games and we have drawn 3 games. In order to be seen as a real established power in CONCACAF, a CONCACAF power, we need to improve our record against the big guns in CONCACAF. Our record against Mexico, the US, Costa Rica, Panama, it sucks, man, honestly. Our record against the big guns in CONCACAF is just atrocious. We can't think of ourselves as a CONCACAF power and we don't improve our record against these CONCACAF teams. So, yeah, so again, we have played them 29 times. We lost 20 times, won 6 games, and 3 games were drawn. Our World Cup qualifying record against Mexico is 13 games, 2 wins, 2 draws, and 9 losses. So I think it's fair to say, guys, that history is not on our side here. History is not on our side. By the way, guys, smash the like button. Free and easy way to support. History is not on our side here. See, so do I think things might change for the better tonight? I honestly do. Guys, I honestly do. I think we can win tonight. I would be even more sure of a victory if we had fans in the stadium pushing the team on. I'd be even more sure of a victory if we had fans in the stands pushing the team on. Who you know who is Costa Rica and Panama is playing? Because you know we have our eye on Costa Rica and Panama. Now, let me share this screen with you guys as well. Let me share this screen with you guys as well. You know, just a screen with the table and also with the current World Cup qualifying, CONCACAF World Cup qualifying table, and also this round of fixtures. So Jamaica is going to play Mexico. The USA is going to play El Salvador, which is the second to last team from the bottom, from the lower end of the table. Honduras is playing Canada. I'm playing, guys. Honduras, I'm joking around. Honduras is playing Canada. And Costa Rica is playing Panama. You know, so mood mind a match a draw, though that match I'm really concerned about, you know. This kicks off 2 hours after our match, because our match is starting at 1900 hours. So you would call it. So that is 7 o'clock. So that means that the Costa Rica-Panama game is starting at 9:05. This is the game, I think, you know, after we finish watching our game, I think many Reggae Boyz fans will definitely be watching this particular game. By the way, Big Deal, me did big up already. Big up Big Deal. Yeah, man, thanks for being here, man. Drop your comments in the comment section and tell me what you guys, you know, share your thoughts. And the link is in the chat as well. You can jump onto the stream and share your thoughts as well. So honestly, guys, more on the match a draw, you know. More on the Costa Rica and Panama match draw, you know, man. Because I don't want both these two teams are ahead of us. I think we keep on focusing on Panama and to a lesser extent Mexico in terms of catching them. I will keep on forgetting about Costa Rica, right? I wouldn't mind we peg back Mexico in this one and get our 3 points. And, you know, Costa Rica and Panama draw. Because if we get our 3 points, we move up to 10 points. If Panama and Costa Rica draw, Costa Rica would be level on points with Costa Rica on 10. And, you know, Panama would be 5 points ahead of us. Would you guys prefer that, or would you guys prefer to see Panama lose? So that would mean that would be still just 2 points between Costa Rica and 4 points behind Panama. Right? What Mexico's record in the last 5 games? Where's Mexico? So 2 losses. So this is their World Cup record in the last 2 games. You know, they lost their 2 games. You know, I don't think a lot of people are being fair to Mexico. People act as if Mexico performed poorly in the last 2 games. I mean, yes, by their standards, losing a game is considered poor. But they never really performed poorly in both games. And to be fair to them, both games were away games. A lot of people leave out that very important point, you know, that they did, in terms of the run of play, they performed relatively well against the 2 other top teams in CONCACAF, being Canada and the US. And they would have, you know, performed relatively okay against those two teams at their home, at Canada and US home. So they would have had those performances at the two other top CONCACAF teams away from home. I think a lot of people, forget that sometimes. Right? But this particular upcoming game is away from their home, and is at our home. The difference is though that, America and Canada would have had fans in their stands. Our stadium will be almost empty. Good day and good day to you all. Welcome back to the channel. Big up Aston Villa FC Cortina. Big up, boss. Who is this Derby player being called up? Who that? You mean the top man, Ravel Morrison? The top man, Ravel Morrison, you're talking? Need Panama and Costa Rica to end in a draw. Boy, I saw me see it, Daniel. I saw me see it for real in a boss. Honestly, that's how I see it. Would be good to see the boys qualify, but me not see it happening, to be honest with you. Boy, I think if this particular game does not end favorably for us, and by favorably I mean, in a victory, that's the only favorable result. If this game does not end in a victory, then honestly, man, regardless of what, if this game does not end in a victory, let's say for instance we draw this game, the only thing would have still leave a glimmer of hope is if Panama lose their game. And at that point in time, man, it would be just, we'd be leaving too much up to other teams. It would be entirely based on what other teams do. Honestly, man. Mexico lost to the two top teams in the region. Let's keep it in perspective. USA and Canada have top talents. I agree, boss. Mad vibes, I agree. And as my point out, the two losses would have come at the homes of Canada and the USA. So I think a lot of people don't be, when they say Mexico not on the best form, I can't agree with that. Right? The two losses would have come away from Mexico's home at the two top teams in CONCACAF. Rowan, big up, boss, big up. Real talk, bro. Good morning. Yeah, man. Pleasant good morning to all of you guys as well. Match starts 7 p.m. Eagerly anticipating that. I think I'm going to start the watch along at around 6:30. Mexico have World Cup pedigree. Can't sleep on them. In fact, I'm begging that you guys don't snooze on the park or switch off. I've never heard somebody say snooze on the park. Richard, what that mean, boss? I've never heard somebody use that term. And first me I hear that term, or that phrase. First me I hear that phrase, the boss. Snooze on the park. Switch off now is a phrase that we often hear in football. Jamaica 1, Mexico 0. By the way, I forget for mention this, Mexico have two of them top players out, Yes, we have the likes of Leon Bailey out. That's true, and obviously, Demari Gray never get him documents in time. But Mexico have two dangerous players out, and that is Jimenez and Chucky Lozano. You know the beautiful thing about Jimenez being out, guys? Funes Mori. A Funes Mori name? He's a good player, and he's a very good player from a link-up standpoint, in terms of he's a very good player to play a false nine role, right? I personally think he helps Mexico tremendously in linking up things in the final third, right? And dropping into the hole and being that passing option and being that out ball. The thing about Funes Mori, though, is, the man wasteful in front of goal. Him wasteful in front of goal. Seeing him not have it in front of goal. That's just facts. Funes Mori. So the mere fact that more than likely Funes Mori will be the player, that we'd have to contend with. I think Damian Lowe and Ethan Pinnock. And by the way, we welcome the return of Ethan Pinnock. right? Top class baller. Anybody who try trash Ethan Pinnock and make it seem as if Ethan Pinnock has been poor for Jamaica in the 2 games that he has played so far for us. But respectfully, I strongly disagree with you. Strongly. Ethan Pinnock has done well for us in the games that he has played, and he is a top quality player. So, Damian Lowe and Ethan Pinnock, I think, will keep Mr. Funes Mori quiet. And also, we talk about aerial threat. There should not be an aerial threat in terms of, there's no, well, to be fair, some of our defender them sometimes is like the man them can't jump, But, Ethan Pinnock now gonna make Funes Mori winning ball in the air. Him not gonna allow that. Seen? And, that I think those two shutting down Funes Mori, I think he will get chances, but even if he get chances, because of the pressure from both Lowe and Ethan Pinnock, there will be half chances. That's what I think. Him not gonna really have a lot of time for really, have an impact in front of goal. There will be half chances, and Funes Mori is a player where him very wasteful in front of goal. Very. So you can't really bank on that, but I am hoping that that particular trend and that particular pattern continues. Bar Bailey, who else is out injured? Who else is out injured? I don't think we have anybody else out injured. We have anybody else out injured? I mean, we have players that are just returning from injury. So you have Kevin Stewart, who is just coming back from injury, and also Liam Moore. But I don't think we have anybody else out injured. We have players that are out because they didn't get their documents in time. So that would be Demarai Gray and also David Davis. Guys, I am really looking for, honestly, out of Kevin Stewart. I'm going to say something right now, and I don't know if you guys know about this David Davis player. But I'm going to say something right now, it might be a little bit controversial, but you don't know me. I'm going to talk when I feel. Even if I know so I'm going to get backlash, I'm going to talk when I feel. Seeing because I just some I really feel. And one thing with me, guys, I don't set things, I don't have agendas, I don't set things where I don't mean. If I talk it, you know so it come from yes. Seeing? I am honestly eagerly awaiting the arrival of David Davis more than I am of Kevin Stewart. Don't get me wrong, before we know about David Davis, all the hype and rage was about Kevin Stewart, and we were eagerly looking forward to Kevin Stewart. Don't get me wrong, I am very happy that Kevin Stewart has arrived. Very happy. But people may not tell a lie. If you see David Davis play, to say he's a decent player, is a gross understatement. And the thing about it is, if David Davis, comes into our setup, Anthony Grant game in a trouble. Because Municipal Hall pick Anthony Grant over David Davis. And that's a shame, because we rate Anthony Grant. Let me get back to some of the comments. Watch Panama, Costa Rica aren't getting a win there. Yeah, boy. Is that Panama the game playing, right? Boy, people, easy for going on Panama, Boy, I saw what Panama have done to some teams down there. Boy, even us, our next game, we have to go there and play them, and me I tell them, man, we have to go make that game a scrappy encounter, because I don't think we can go down there and not no sort of pretty lead against Panama. Me not foresee that. Honestly, man, nothing in them backyard. It's a difficult place to go and play. Difficult place. But honestly, I felt sorry for El Salvador. Right? The last game Panama play would have been against El Salvador. I mean, I tell you, the game end 2-1. But honestly, man, El Salvador were pretty fortunate to even come out of that stadium alive, man. Honestly. Ron Davis says snooze. Aston Villa Coutinho boys 1 Mexico 3. No Coutinho. I not agree with that scoreline there. I think it got even if they did squeeze out a 1-0 victory for Mexico, boss. But boys 1 Mexico 3. No, sir. I can't agree with that one, the boss. Very sorry, boss. You're leaking too many goals at the back and terribly in the final third. Nothing I'd love to see qualification. Nothing I'd love to see qualification, but it nah been looking good. No, fingers crossed. You know, Aston Villa Coutinho is a new coach in town in the boss. The struggling in the fact. As a matter of fact, I think it's an unfair statement to say that we have been struggling in the final third. Because, to be honest with you, we're barely even getting to the final third. So far in the qualifiers, we have barely even been getting to the final third, to be honest with you. I think this is a game we can win, right? I think we need to. I think, for starters, Mexico are struggling to defend set pieces. And, given our size advantage, and, the physical element to our game, we should be able to capitalize on set pieces on that particular moment of the game. Also, I think if we really press them and really get up into their faces and don't give them a lot of time and space on the ball, right? I think we can cause them problems. I think even if they play out of our pressure with that ball over the top, right? I think we can win the first and the second balls. Honestly, man, I think this is a winnable game. It's an interesting matchup, and the good thing about it is that they're missing two very, very good players. Another player, Chucky Lozano, will be out for them as well. We forget about Chucky Lozano as well, right? Lozano is basically their playmaker. Comes deep a lot to get on the ball. Mexico are always trying. Him and Corona. Mexico are always trying to get those two, but especially Chucky Lozano on the ball, trying to get him on the ball to make things happen. Always I try to get Chucky Lozano on the ball to make things happen. And he has been a live wire in the World Cup qualifier so far. He has been an absolute live wire for them. So, we are very happy that he got that second yellow card in the game against, it was who? Canada. In the game against Canada, I think he got the second yellow card. In my opinion, here, Formula, there is no vintage Mexico team, but they're good enough to make top four. Minimum, I'm looking for just how smart a team Jamaica are today. Who are Jamaica's? Who are JA's smartest players, I think is what you're asking. Who are Jamaica's smartest players? Javian Brown. Javian Brown is a player that I really respect for his footballing IQ. Anthony Grant as well. I think Anthony Grant has a world-class footballing IQ. Listen me good enough, people. I never say Anthony Grant is world-class, I never said that. I said his footballing IQ, his technical know-how, I believe to be world-class. I think he greatly makes up for what he lacks physically with his technical know-how. Where's Antonio? Antonio is in the mix. Antonio is in the mix. Mikel Antonio is here. The last time I checked, Mikel Antonio is here. I just want Jamaica to take their chances when it comes. Goals win games. I agree. I think Mikel Antonio will do just that. We're also praying and hoping that Mikel Antonio continues to conjure up individual brilliance as well. Formula, how do you describe your style of commentary? What do you like to bring to the party when providing a watch-along? I want eyes on the game painting pictures. But Richard, you have been on watch-alongs with me already, boss. You know my style of commentary. So I don't understand that. Me ain't sit down and do watch-along already, boss. Honestly, I don't even know if I answer that question there. You know, watch my watch-along, so I don't know my style. I don't know if I answer that question there. Jamaica beat Mexico and Panama lose to Costa Rica. Then we beat Costa Rica and Panama. Yo, all right, Brethren, cool, man. Sound like a plan. Jamaica beat Mexico and Panama, lose to Costa Rica. Then we beat Costa Rica and Panama, lose the second game. That would be good too. We would be 1 point behind Panama and 1 point ahead of Costa Rica. Daniel, sound like a plan. I can't argue with that. It sounds like a plan. I can't argue with that at all. Can't argue with that. We will win 1-0 from a corner lower pinnock. And hopefully them not cancel out a goal this time like last time. VAR will be in this game, right? I think VAR will be in this game. So, it would be a shame. Suppose VAR work against we another match today. It would be a damn shame and the whole of they are called for VAR. Eh? We want a draw between Panama and Costa Rica. Either anything other than a Panama win, I am good. Anything other than a Panama victory. Coach, boss, big up, man, big up. Anyway, they in our world, boss, big up. Aston Villa FC Coutinho, maybe not terribly, but you're not taking chances and scoring them. You either draw this or draw Panama, both not happening in my opinion. I want to say this much. Will we get to see Paul Hall's style or Paul Hall's system in this game? One of the things that Paul Hall alluded to, in the press conference, was the time that he had with the team. He said he is going to have 2 training sessions with the team before the game. Only 2 or 3. I think it's only 2. I think it's only 2 himself, right? Whereas the Peru game, we had what? He had a week with the team. He had a week with the team going into the Peru game, right? With this particular team, I'm only going to have 2 training sessions. So what he was basically saying is that he was basically just pointing out the time difference between what he had going into the Peru game and what he had going into this particular game, right? And just alluding to, how he was able to kind of stamp his style on the team, so to speak. And we saw that in the first half of the Peru game. The thing about it, though, is that I don't think he needs as much time with this crop of players as he would need with the crop of players that play the Peru game, because this crop of players, are more experienced at the highest level, right? They have played more at the highest level. They have played under, they have more experience under different style of plays and different respective systems. So I would think that given the fact that they have more experience, more professional experience at the highest level under a number of different managers, they would be able to adapt more quickly to what Paul Hall is trying to get them to do. What do you guys think about that? Hit me up in the comment section and let me know. Eddie Vision, guys, this is Eddie Vision. He has a channel in and of itself. Go over and support. This is actually Eddie Guna from Sports DTM. He has his branch of channel, his own channel, Eddie Vision, right? Makes very good content, very well produced content too. So you guys can go over there and check out Eddie Vision. Big up, boss. Dwayne, the refs. The refs, I don't think we'll have to deal with the refs. Well, certainly not for major decisions today. Paul Hall is putting the players to play in their right position that they're accustomed to. So I think the team will play better. I mean, ball position. And I agree. I don't think we're going to see the bagger. I mean, look, even just by the squad selection, you can tell that there's not going to be a lot of makeshifts in this team. Even by the squad selection, you can see that. So players will be far more familiar with their positions and, far more, would know more what they need to do on the pitch just by the fact that they're playing in positions that are familiar to them. By the way, again, I am very happy to see Kevin Stewart. The baller is here, guys. You guys would have seen the pictures and the videos with Kevin Stewart here. Right? It's a long time coming, man. It's a long time coming. I mean, We have been eagerly anticipating this player, Kevin Stewart, for quite some time. Quite some time. So it's a long time coming, man. And me personally, I'm very happy to finally see a ball playing CDM in our team. A proper out and out CDM who is a ball playing CDM. It's been a long time coming, right? The sad thing about it though is that he missed the flight. Damn shame. So he turned up when? Yesterday? I think late yesterday, like yesterday evening. I really and truly don't think we'll see him start. If Paul Hall was smart, he would give him a half a minute run, half an hour run out. That's what I would do. Give him a half an hour run out. He's a player that can play at the number 6 or the number 8 position, right? So he's a very versatile CDM, right? Has a number of different dynamics to his game. So regardless of how the game is going, I personally would throw him into the game, give him a half an hour, and try and see, especially given the fact that he hasn't played a game for club in such a long time, because he's coming back from injury and not match fit, right? Me would have given him not less than half an hour run out, not less. Because what's the sense of bring this ball playing CDM here, who is supposed to be our savior in the CDM position, and bring him for these 3 round of fixtures, and we cannot at the very least start him in 2. Give him a half an hour run out and try and see if we can, give him if it's even an hour run out in the Panama game. Right? Starting, and then we can take him off in the 60-something minute. Jamaica possible starting lineup. We're gonna talk about that too, What you guys think, would be the starting lineup. What's the starting lineup floating around, Jamaica possible starting lineup: Blake, Brown, Moore, Pinnock, Lawrence, Stewart, Williams, Walker, Decardova, Reed, Flemings, Antonio. No DJ Coutinho. First of all, I wouldn't start Stewart. He's not match fit. I don't think that is wise. He might be terribly off the pace from the jump. He's not match fit. Plus, he only arrived in the island yesterday. I wouldn't start him, sir. I don't think that's a wise idea. No DJ. You know me that play. I'm presuming you're having Decardova Reed as the number 10. Me that play DJ as the number 10, and play Decardova on the wings, I would play or probably have Walker as the number 10 and Decardova Reed on the wing. I think which one you have at the number 10? Walker or Decardova Reed? Right? I would have take out Walker. Right? I think that game a little too big for Walker start tonight. I'm a rate Walker is a good young talent, but for starting in a game like this, a big game, I wouldn't do it personally. Me just set a bomb and take out Walker, put in DJ, throw the card over Reed out wide, and Flemings would probably be the second best wing option we have available after the card over Reed. Me that start DJ. Yo, think about this, guys. This is a midfield trio that could possibly feature, This is a midfield trio that could possibly feature, Right? Speedy Williams, Ravel Morrison. People, have we ever seen Speedy and Ravel together? I don't think they've ever started a game together. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. And then DJ at the number 10. Or even DJ and Ravel could have been switched around, because the last time we saw DJ and Speedy in the pivot positions, some decent leather knock, against Costa Rica in a Gold Cup, I know I'm bad midfield trio that, That is a midfield trio where can get the job done, guys. Seeing that's a whole lot of mobility and a whole lot of ball playing ability. I don't think we have ever seen that dynamic before. I would love to see those three players play. And as me say, Shub Deckard over Reed out wide. Because Deckard over Reed is the only real quality. When I say quality, I mean quality at a very high level. A player that is proven at a very high level. Deckard over Reed is the only quality winger we have in the setup. In terms of a player that has been proven at a very high level. So, I wouldn't put Deckard over Reed in at the number 10 slot when we can draft a DJ or a Ravel, throw Deckard over Reed out wide to put some quality on the wings. And, bring on a Lamar Walker for try and see if him can inject some pace in the game. That's the only real shame about this team though, guys. This squad that Paul Hall picked, surprisingly, is short in quality on the wings. And I guess it's because of, well, we can't even say because of players available. It's a damn shame though, the press conference, why didn't anybody ask, yo, you see what, in the press conference, them asked about Haka, if memory serves right, they asked about Grant as well too. Why those players were not included, right? The most glaring omission was probably Jamal, and nobody never asked that in the press conference. And that is probably the most glaring omission. But guys, we think about a midfield trio there. DJ, Speedy, Ravel. We think about a midfield trio there. And also, where would you play DJ and Ravel? Would you play DJ in the number 10 and Ravel at the number 8, or Ravel at the number 10 and DJ at the number 8? Hit me up in the comment section and let me know. Some may say 2-1 hot nil, we say. I feel we have 2 goals in a way. I think because of the new gaffer and his understanding of how to put together a proper attacking structure, right, with proper build-up play that can move the ball through the respective thirds and break the lines. We saw it against Peru in the first half, right? I think if we give Mikel Antonio chances in CONCACAF, he will put them away. Mikel Antonio has 2 goals in 3 games off breadcrumbs. What if the ball actually gets some chance to put the ball in our back in it, right? I think we can get 2 goals in another game, man. And I think Mikel Antonio got bulge the net, man. I feel Antonio got bulge the net, people. Bro, when you look at the Jamaican team, we have the team. Barring quality on the wings, I agree. Mexico will be missing Raul Jimenez. Yup, facts. And as me say, we can bank. And I don't want to say we can bank, but given the trends and given the patterns, Funes Mori will miss chances because Funes Mori is not the most clinical. Very good with link-up play. Very good. He will help Mexico. I think he actually contributes to Mexico more in terms of helping to link the play better than Raul Jimenez. Raul Jimenez can do it too, right? And drop deep and provide that linkage. But I don't think he's good at it as Funes Mori. But Funes Mori always miss chances, man. Always miss chances. By the way, guys, smash the like button. We're not joke with the likes, guys. Come on, man. A simple thing, man. Just to click the like button, man. It don't take too much effort, guys. We just ask a small favor, man. Run up the likes, man. Smash the like button. Free and easy way to support the channel. And I know, say, I my tagline that. See? Where Richard has said, tell the audience, new people about mind tiddly wings, jump on, space the vote. Your live coverage is top notch. Richard, much appreciated, man. Much appreciated. But me still don't know. I've never, me have to think about that, Richard. Me don't know what kind of commentary me do, boss. I mean, in depth, me that say, highly analytical. What else? What else me that say? Just excellent coverage, man. Excellent all-round coverage, man. Very insightful, very in-depth. And that's how me that describe my commentary. See? Oh, Richard do another comment. Mercy plea Aston Villa FC. Really serious with that proposed JA lineup. Mine on a blood pressure. Formula I expect you to have put a fire pour water on that lineup. But me not agree with the lineup, Richard. But talk it already. For starters, it would be it would be crazy to me personally to start Stewart. Right? Stewart is not starting. Stewart is not starting. I highly doubt it. You know, obviously we want to see the ball and we dying to see the ball, but him not start. Me not think him gonna start. Eddie Vision asks, thoughts on the squad Simon said would start formula. To be honest with you, I see a starting 11 going around that is alleged to be what the great Simon Preston said will start. Me personally, I never saw the video. So if it is the starting lineup that I saw people alleged that Simon said would start, me no know. Me no feel too good about that starting 11. But to be fair, I never saw it. I never saw it personally. So I can't really comment on it. Seeing because while me see the names floating around that Simon alleged was gonna, alleged that Simon said would start, me never see the video with Simon personally, so I can't talk on it. Seeing, Eddie, if you have a starting 11 preference, speak, sir. What was Simon call on the starting 11? Yeah, man. From what I understand, that 11 has been very controversial. As I say, I can't comment on it because what I see is what people say, Simon say. I never see what Simon say personally. Leon probably won't make it back to the first team for a long time. He won't be available for Jamaica until next qualifiers. Yeah, man. Leon is coming back in February. So definitely, hopefully, he can stay fit for the next qualifiers. Maybe it is wise to keep lineup news under wraps. Jamaica was omitted for that common mantra personal or Low was omitted for that common mantra personal reasons, I believe. Focus for this window falls squarely on our selected squad of Spartans, who was the better coach. Jamal Low was omitted for personal reasons. That's news to me. It's the first I'm hearing that. Richard, where you heard that? Hit me up in the comment section, Richard, and tell me where you heard that. Because that is news to me. I have not heard that. That is news to me. That would be sad. That would be sad. That would be sad. So that would be 3 reggae boys. That would be sad. But I don't. But me never hear that though. I think Jamal Lowe just never got picked. I mean, it's crazy that he was left out, but me never hear personal reasons. Hit me up in the comment section and let me know where you heard that from, Richard. Formula educate me. I heard we're going on all out attack. How that plan to work? I wonder if some cone will play against. No, I think Paul Hall intends to play on the front foot. By the way, you saw that video in training with Paul Hall where Paul Hall was saying was shouting out press, press, press. He was saying, we need to press, we need to press. I think Paul Hall intends to play on the front foot. I think he intends to get up into the faces of the Mexicans, not give them a lot of time and space on the ball. They have been shown to be a bit vulnerable when it comes to coming up against that particular style of play, right? And that is, Paul Hall's identity. That is how he plays, right? And if the Mexicans have been shown to be vulnerable against that particular type of play, then why not? I think that is what he intends to do. Play on the front foot, and get up into their faces. Formula, give you a midfield three. That's my midfield three. Speedy, Ravel, and DJ. That's my midfield trio. Right? I think that's the best midfield trio. I mean, obviously, if Stewart was match fit, we would throw Stewart in there. If Stewart was match fit, I would bench DJ and I would play Stewart, Speedy, and Ravel. I think that would be the ideal midfield trio. But the mere fact that Stewart would have arrived in the island just yesterday, and also he hasn't played in quite a while for Blackpool, so I think it would be madness to start him. Don't think he can keep up to the pace of the game if he starts. Who are midfield who going to kick people? But do you need that though? You don't necessarily need an out and out enforcer doing in the middle of the park doing a Karoom, especially if the whole team is gonna be playing on the front foot at home. Right? I mean Speedy, Speedy is not an out and out CDM, but to be honest with you, I think Speedy's growth and what we have seen from Speedy, right, where his growth is concerned, has shown me personally that he can provide, a decent enough shield for the back line. He's not the physical type. He'd be more a ball playing kind of deeper line CDM. What them call what them call it again? What them call it again, man? What them call it again, man? The position, man. The CDM position, man. Deeper line playmaker. Right? That's the kind of CDM he would be. But Speedy has intelligence enough to block passing channels and, push a foot and nick a ball off a man's foot and, and especially given the fact that the whole team more than likely would be involved in the press. I don't particularly have an issue with a out and out. And to be honest with you, if Anthony Grant was here, I probably wouldn't start Grant, to be honest with you. Goontown, big up, boss, big up, big up. It's been a while, man. Big up, Goontown. Bless up, man. Thanks for being here. Formula, you can go back and look at the view. What view, Karoom? That one they miss me. That one they miss me, Karoom. I'm slow to that one, the Karoom. Ryan, big channel. Big up, boss. Big up. Big up, Ryan. Big channel, Latina man. Ryan LFC. Big up yourself, boss. Formula, how we leave out Anthony Grant? Tell me the truth. I agree. Anthony Grant should have come. Anthony Grant should have been in the squad. Right? Anthony Grant should have been in the squad. See, I agree. I think Anthony Grant is the best option to defend a lead. If we have a lead and we want to shut it down in the final 15-10 minutes, I think Anthony Grant is the best option for that. Right, in terms of the defensive side of his game and his footballing IQ, right? His very good positional play, and just his intelligence in providing that shield for the back line. I think he would have been the best option, man. I think we should move away from Grant where starting him is concerned, especially with the arrival of Kevin Stewart. And if David Davis is available for the next window, then boy, Grant, a place for Grant in the side are gonna be tough, man. Because David Davis does what Anthony Grant does, to the level that Anthony Grant does it and does even more. Has even more to his game. I tell you, man, David Davis are the real deal, people. If you don't see him play, check him out, man. Shrewsbury Town starting CDM. Ishmael King, Simon did not name a starting 11. Cataract did from the stadium. So I heard. That's true. I shouldn't say that's true. So I heard. As I said, I didn't watch the video, so I don't know. But so I heard. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. And I probably shouldn't comment on the situation because I don't know. By the way, one of the things that Paul Hall mentioned in his press conference, guys, and the whole issue of Anthony Grant in a Karoom. Paul Hall did mention in the press conference, that the omissions were based on, being smooth throughout the respective thirds in terms of the omissions of Haka and Anthony Grant. I talk it already, I mean, common sense told me that Anthony Grant was left out because Coach Paul Hall does not think that Grant is ideal in attacking transition, right? Anthony Grant is not the most mobile. He makes up for it because of his footballing IQ. So he starts to make his run, or he sees the run a lot earlier than others would. But he's still not the most, than others that we had available would. But he's still not the most mobile. I think that's the thing. I think Paul Hall wants us to be a better unit in our build-up play in terms of our play throughout the respective thirds, breaking the lines. Mobility is key for breaking the lines. Mobility is key for recycling the ball, right? And I think in Paul Hall's head, while Anthony Grant does have the certain qualities, certain very good qualities, I don't think Paul Hall sees Anthony Grant as being the most mobile individual that can really contribute in the manner that Paul Hall would want him to contribute. Right? He said it. Right? He said it. The omissions are due to, being smooth. They want to be smooth throughout the respective thirds. So, that would explain a lot personally. Formula, what you expect from the Mexican team? That's a good question in a Karoom. That's a good question. And to be fair, I think Mexico will be limited, a bit, I think the exclusion of Chucky Lozano is a big miss for them, I think this time around, Mexico is going to realize that they are coming up against an entirely different monster. Honestly, man, how I see this game going, I see us getting up into their faces, man. And Mexico has not been the best where that is concerned. I will say this much though. By the way, we need to talk about this, because, and this is a good question in the Karoom, because Mexico, no matter how intensely and how well organized we press Mexico, Mexico is indeed good enough that there are going to be occasions in the game where they evade the press. See, you see, when Mexico evade that initial pressure, we have to reorganize and we have to get the defensive transition going as quickly as possible. We have to have that plan in place to try and delay. When they break that initial line of pressure, we have to have that initial plan in place to delay, to try as best as possible to delay their attacking transition. Because what I noticed with them, when Mexico break that initial line of pressure, they might struggle sometimes to break it, but on occasions they will break it. And when they do break it, they move the ball very quickly, man. And before you know it, you have to wonder if it was a counter-attack. It wasn't a counter-attack, It wasn't a counter-attack, but how they move the ball so quickly after them break that initial line of pressure, man. Trust me, man, them create goal-scoring opportunities plentiful and very quickly after they break that initial line of pressure. So we have to be very, 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 very careful and very cognizant of that. Saw it against US and saw it against Canada. Once the man them break that initial line of pressure, the man, by the time you blink the man them there, you goal with a goal scoring opportunity. Wife's pregnant, I think. Oh, so him wife not give birth yet. Yo, long Jamal wife pregnant. If she not give birth yet, she can't still pregnant, Jeff. She can't still pregnant. Long Jamal wife pregnant. Jamal Low wife, me been a year so Low wife pregnant for a long time now. She must give birth already, man. I don't know still. I'm not going to speculate on that because I don't know. But yeah, I know his wife, has been quite a while ago. I heard that his wife was pregnant. Formula, I hear we're going all guns blazing today. Karoom, where you hear all of this from? Who tell you this, Karoom? Karoom, I think this is what you want to see in a Karoom. I don't think you hear this from nobody in a Karoom. Press. I close your press. Oh, God. Karoom have jokes. Karoom say, close your press. Hopefully, I not just close alone a press today in a boss. We need for press in order to get this victory. Jamal not Jamaica autocorrect formula. How surprised are you that Pinnock and Antonio aren't being talked up more? Their star ballers. Jamal, I heard from a credible source. All right, Richard. Richard says a credible source. That's actually an interesting observation, and you kinda right to a certain extent, Richard. Truth be told, Ethan, I don't think Jamaicans, for some strange reason, ever since Ethan Pinnock got turned in that US game by Josh Sargent, for some strange reason, people just don't have Pinnock as a good player for Jamaica. I mean, I understand it. I do by the way, guys, smash the like button, guys. Oh, now watch the video and then hit the like button, man. Come on, guys, give the channel a strength and smash the like button. But I for some strange reason, I just don't think Jamaicans hold Ethan Pinnock in high regard, Richard. To be honest with you, I can't understand it. I cannot understand it. It don't make sense to me. It don't make sense to me personally, to be honest with you. It don't make sense to me personally. Because I think Ethan Pinnock is such a massive, literally and figuratively speaking, he is a massive, massive piece in the puzzle for us personally. Think he's an excellent player. By the way, may I go say something, Another take that might be a bit controversial, Initially, when I had said that, because I was one of those that was very upset that Pinnock was choosing Brentford's preseason over the Gold Cup campaign. I was very upset with him. Very upset. But honestly, guys, I actually am happy that he did that, because Brentford did a lot of work with him in the preseason, And I think that's why we are seeing the beast that we're currently seeing in the EPL. In terms of, you saw weaknesses in his game, in when he was in the championship, right? He used that preseason to improve as a player, in my humble opinion. And, I think for that, he would be a better servant to Jamaica because he's a better player, right? Prepared himself properly for the English Premier League and he improved as a player. I personally think it was for the better that he chose Brentford's preseason over, our Gold Cup campaign. I didn't feel like it at the time, but my mind has kind of changed where that is concerned. So I need a tackler in the midfield. Speedy can push a foot, man, Eddie. And Ravel Morrison can push a foot as well, too, man. Ravel Morrison will put in some yards on the defensive side and, make some challenges and win some ball, man. I get the point, though, I get the point, and it's a fair point, but I think DJ Speedy and Ravel can get the job done. I think that's a whole lot of a ball playing ability. And some people might say that it's unbalanced where the defensive side is concerned. They might have a point. Me kind of see things a little bit differently, right? But I understand where they would be coming from. But honestly, I don't know the starting 11, but I would not be surprised if it's going to be DJ, Speedy, and Ravel in the midfield. And I think that's the best and most sensible option in my humble opinion. The fact that I personally wouldn't start Anthony game in a Anthony Grant in a game like this where we really need the 3 points or we really need to play on the front foot. So I'm not missing him where that is concerned. I'm more missing him from the standpoint of closing out games. And Kevin Stewart cannot play. He can't start. That would be madness if Kevin Stewart start. So 4 coaches that come across Maggie, not one of them trust him enough to lead their team. They don't even give him game time. I personally would have had Maggie in this squad as well. Me personally, and I'm a bit surprised. I don't know how. Probably, I think the real reason why Maggie is not in it is because Maggie is not getting game time in Belgium. In terms of the Pro League is going on, but he's not even making the squad. Because I personally thought that Sir Paul Hall would have been very impressed by the Costa Rica game and seeing what the player can do. But him not in it, so I don't know. By the way, one of the things we want to talk about just before we introduce Sir Richard. By the way, thanks for being here, Richard. Big up yourself, boss. One of the things, in this particular game, we have to play this game at a very high tempo, We have to play this game at a very high tempo because honestly, I don't see us getting a victory in this game and beating Mexico if we don't play this game with very high intensity, far more intensity than what we have played with in the qualifiers thus far. The fans in the stands would have helped us to have that intensity, but I think Paul Hall, here's the difference with Paul Hall and Tapper. Tapper on the sideline, hands full up with screw face. See? Paul Hall, the difference with Paul Hall is that Paul Hall will be on the sideline constantly shouting, constantly saying, shouting instructions, shouting motivation, shouting this, shouting that. And I think that even though fans won't be in the stadium, I think that it's disappointing, but I think Paul Hall can do a job where that is concerned in terms of the intensity and the tempo that we play with. Right? And the stadium is empty so them can hear Paul Hall shout. So I think, yes, the ideal circumstance would be fans in the stands, but I think the difference in Gaffer in terms of one is quiet on the touchline and one is, very animated and shouting and all sort of stuff on the touchline. I think that what Paul Hall brings to the touchline will help us out where that is concerned. So, Richard, what you're saying, boss? Welcome to the show.
Give thanks, Formula. Give thanks. Always a pleasure. Give thanks. Greetings, viewers and subscribers. Please, I would like to join Formula in reminding you to hit the like button when you're in the Formula Sports arena. It's quality content, analytical content, sober, insightful, wise. Yeah, man. Full respect, sir. You're getting real quality something when you come on this channel, sir. Formula. Can you put into context what this game, should Jamaica win it, how big is it in terms of Jamaica's recent footballing history? Give us some context.
It's massive. It's massive. It would be, it's not only if we win this game, but especially if how we win it is impressive. It's massive. I think it will resonate throughout CONCACAF. I think other teams that come up against us after this in the qualifiers will have more respect for us. I think I personally saw an element of when teams came up against us, they saw that we were a wounded animal. They saw that we things weren't right. And me personally, I saw a slight lack of respect in terms of the way that even Panama, for instance, Panama came into our backyard, no respect. They just immediately went on the front foot. Immediately went on the front foot because they could tell that we could not match them. If we beat Mexico today and also beat them holding their own, for starters, it would be good if the stats look respectable. If we can crack 40% possession stats and string over 300 passes together and not have Mexico, string more than 100 passes more than us in the game. If we can beat them and beat them in a respectable manner, I think we will reinstill that fear or that respect and say, look here, man, we are to be respected, we are to be feared, and I think teams will be a lot more cautious against us. And also, obviously, if we get these 3 points, especially if Panama, at the very least, we have to hope and pray Costa Rica can get. I think the game is being played in Panama. It's going to be extremely difficult for Costa Rica to go to Panama and win. I think the best we can hope for is a draw. El Salvador tried them best to give away a draw. Them couldn't do it. Panama's Costa Rica slightly better team. Hopefully they can give it to us. If we win this game, especially if results go our way elsewhere, we are legitimately backing it from a psychological standpoint and from a mathematical standpoint.
Wow.
By the way, one second, Richard. I don't trust Speedy as a CDM. He doesn't tackle. Boss, me not up and running. Me not agree with that. Rewatch the Peru game. A lot of people real Richard King performance in that game. And don't get me wrong, the young player represented well, held his own at the highest level, but missed the whole quite a number of times. Richard King was dragged out of position. And Speedy was the one that was providing the coverage and making the tackle. Just say, go ahead, Richard.
We're going to need a lot. Thank you, Formula. We're going to need a lot of heart as well as smarts this evening. And Speedy, I remember joining the Juta train, the Juta bus, the Juta coach during the Gold Cup. And Speedy was one of those players who wasn't getting the full accolades. He has been improving month after month. And we can't sleep on his contribution. So I'm really glad that you're pointing out Speedy's contribution, and hopefully it will be much needed tonight. Listen, Formula, do you think that the quick, slow approach for Jamaica could also pay dividends? I'm a little concerned at this high octane game plan that some people are suggesting may pay dividends against the Mexicans. Do we need to risk blowing a gasket in search of this victory, or can a quick, slow, knowing that we have energy levels, but also what we really have is technically gifted quality players on the ball who are more comfortable now, and particularly under this particular manager? What do you think, Formula?
I think personally, I think we have to know when to. I think we have to try and control this game, and I think we can. I think we can do it. I think we have to try and control the tempo as well. There are times when we need to speed it up, and there's times when we're gonna need to slow it down. We can't just be going. Eventually, we're going to run out of steam. That's facts, right? There are times when we're going to need to, try and take the sting out of the game, yes. But I think we need to pick our moments. We need to pick our moments well. And I think that we need to have extended periods where we're all over this team. So we have a 15 minutes where we're all over Mexico. Then we try and take a breather in a smart way in terms of, let's say, for instance, there's a particular play where we front press them and we win possession of the ball. We try to score within a short amount of time. We don't score. What we need to do then is then knock the ball around, right? Take this thing out of the game, knock the ball around, and slow down the tempo, slow down the pace, and just take a breather, relax, take a breather in possession. Stuff like that. I think we need to manage the game well. That's what I'm trying to say. But Richard, when you watch the Canada and the USA games, in terms of the last two World Cup qualifiers that Mexico would have played, for large portions of the game, yes, you saw the times where the teams took the breather, right? But for large portions of the game, it was played at a very high tempo, very high pace. And I think that's gonna be crucial. I think it's the only way you can really take it to the Mexicans, given the quality in technical ability that they have.
Are Jamaica adept under Paul Hall? We've not seen too much by way of examples. We've seen the Peru game, but so I'm going to refer to the Jamaican players and the Jamaican philosophy. How good are they at probing, holding on to the ball, taking that breather and probing, passing the ball, looking, knocking it, not just for knocking's sake, but knocking it, looking for that moment to probe and then pounce either on the left or the right or down the middle. How adept are Jamaica at doing that? And dare I say it, are the fans patient enough for that type of football that I'm alluding to?
Karum, I'm going to answer your question next, but I think Richard, I think that we have the players to do it. We have always had the players to do it in these qualifiers. I think the coach, though, the coach is just a massive difference. I think that the instructions being given to this team will be a little bit different than what was given to the team under the previous gaffer. That's what I think personally. So, I think that you'll see the team carrying themselves a bit differently on the field of play than we would have been seeing it previously in the qualifiers. Karum, this is a very good question. Mexico plan to play more direct to pass the press. How we plan to deal with that? Karum, that's a very good question, and it shows that you are paying keen attention to especially the last two World Cup qualifiers and the World Cup qualifiers on a whole as well, right? Those out balls from Mexico, what they do whenever they are pressed, right? They have players, roaming in behind the press, and they have those out balls that they play over the press, right? You wouldn't really call them long balls, right? But overhead balls that are played over the opposition team's press. Now, it's very important that those out balls are properly dealt with. For starters, we have the size advantage over the Mexicans to deal with that. The problem is we need to be one, organized, two, we need to pick up and track. We need to pick up and track the runs of the players tasked with receiving those out balls. Right? That is the key in terms of we need to be very well organized to be able to defend against that. We have the size advantage, but we need to track those Mexican players that buzzing about the place, man. We need to track those runs, and we need to cut off the supply with our physical attributes or physical advantage, or we can do like what the Americans did in the second half of the game it was weird, in Cincinnati, I think it was. Anyways, wherever the game was played, it was played in the US though. What they did in the second half, they realized, because it was a case where in the first half, there were times when Mexico failed to evade the press. But then there were times where the out balls were successful and they were both winning the first and the second balls. And when they did evade the press, it caused America problems because once they played past that press, in the blink of an eye, they were in front of the American goal wreaking havoc. What the Americans did in the second half was the players on the ball in terms of the center backs and the goalkeepers, playing in terms of the press was higher up the pitch. and even more intense. So those out balls weren't even, the Mexicans weren't even getting time and space to even attempt to play those out balls. So America wasn't even being reactive in the situation. They were being proactive. So they never even had to deal with the out balls because they weren't even allowing the Mexicans to play the out balls. So that is a strategy that can also work, but that is extremely high intensity stuff. Extremely high intensity stuff. I mean,
Formula, can you give
definitely can't do that for the entire 90.
That would be a tough ask. That would be a tough ask. Can you cast your mind back to the Winfried Schaefer era? And in terms of preparation, camp preparation, pre-match, how does it compare to what Paul Hall has to deal with? Because I'm going to be really interested, and I'm sure you will as well, by hearing, hopefully, Paul Hall shouting from the touchline. But it could be a case of the instructions are still relatively fresh. The paint has yet to fully dry. So, the new approach that Paul Hall has sought to bring to the Jamaican team, it may not have fully had the opportunity to bed in. How does it compare to the Winfried Schaefer era in terms of preparation and time for the team to really gel and sing from the same hymn sheet?
I think Winfried Schaefer would definitely have had more time with the players than what I mean, for starters, remember Paul Hall has a job across the pond, whereas Winfried Schaefer was based here full time. And yes, quite a number of the players were overseas based, but he had a crop of players, core players, and he had them for a very long time, right? Played in multiple tournaments with them. We're talking about Copa America, we're talking about Gold Cups, etc. Right? So the players, after a while, would have been, it would have been basically they knew the system like the back of their hand, so to speak. Right? New gaffer who has a job across the pond. And Paul Hall did allude to this in his press conference, that really and truly comparing the Peru build-up to the build-up with this game, he had a week to properly build up in the Peru game, whereas this particular game he only had he will only have like about 3 training sessions. I think it's 2 himself before the game. So it's definitely, you can see that he never had as much time as he would have liked, and he does have some concerns as to has he left his imprint, so to speak, on the team. Will the time be enough for him to have left his imprint? I think he is trying to say that he has tried his best to leave his imprint. It's not an ideal time period, but I think that I don't think he would need a week like what he had with the Peru build-up. I don't think he would need a week with this particular squad. Because as I said earlier in the stream, remember the squad in Peru, is a lot of young players, a lot of players who really and truly haven't played at the highest level, right? And a lot of them who are very young in their careers and, don't have as much experience in the professional sphere as this particular crop of players. So I think this crop of players that he would be using for this particular game would be more experienced at the professional level, right? And will adapt more quickly to what he is trying to instill, because, a lot of it will probably be familiar to them because somewhere along the lines in their career, they have probably been exposed to bits and pieces of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's just my opinion personally. I think this crop, I don't think he would need a week like what he had with the Peru team, the team that played against Peru. I don't think he would need as much as a week, but you can see that he would have wanted more time.
I've got 2 questions in my head here, Formula. One of them is a little speculative, and I'm willing to be coached and informed on an individual. The name is David Davis. I'm going to do more research on this gentleman, but I want you to go on record as to just how good a recruit David Davis would be to this Jamaican midfield. The
Very good.
second question, well, as I said, you're going to go on record, and I'm going to follow up to
I
see
already gone
exactly
on
what
record.
he brings
I
to
did
the
a video
party.
on him, you know, Richard. I did a
I
Richard.
think I, I
Yeah.
think I saw something. Yes,
Yeah, I
I
did a
think I saw
Richard.
something. But were you jumping on the bandwagon of David Davis, or are you fully convinced a paid up member of the David Davis fan club? Because that midfield position is up for grabs, and if you've got quality and you can make a difference, we've seen Brazil, Casemiro. If you can do the job, you are in. You're locked and docked. So David Davis, I'm hearing a lot of lip speak about him, but he's got to deliver. In the meantime, we've got our midfield tonight who needs to deliver against Mexico. I do have concerns, I must say, Formula. And if they pull this off tonight, we have reason to dance in the streets, because this is a game that's winnable, but it's no gimme. And I think they're up against it with no fans in the stadium. Who are the big players, Formula? We can come into the David Davis if you want to cover it. No problem. Who are the big players who you feel will need to stand up tonight? All of them, I hope, do stand up. But who are the leaders tonight? Who are the ones who can make the difference and cajole and direct this team on the pitch as Paul Hall barks out the instructions from the sideline?
Firstly, on the David Davis matter, if David Davis was in this game for us against Mexico,
Yes.
we would win it. I think we would win it. And I would be shocked if we didn't win it. I know, yes, adapting to CONCACAF, is
Yes.
an argument that would be made. But I think
Yes.
David Davis is such a well-rounded player that adapting wouldn't be a problem for him. I rate the player very highly. On the defensive side of things, he's better than Kevin Stewart. On the offensive side of things, yes, I do give Kevin Stewart the edge, but not by much. I think there's a big gap between. I shouldn't say a big gap, because Kevin Stewart is not bad on the defensive side of things, but it's just that David Davis is a beast on the defensive side of things. For starters, he is an engine. He's a machine, right? He literally takes control of that space in front of the back line. Like him just own it. Like a theme yard. Like him just take control. Like he is
Oh,
a
yes.
beast, and he is a very intelligent player. Very intelligent. You see that Anthony Grant footballing IQ?
Yes.
That is why if David Davis comes, to play for us, Anthony Grant in a serious problems, because that high footballing IQ that many of us really rate Anthony Grant for. Unfortunately for Anthony Grant, David Davis footballing IQ is probably just as good. So you know
With
that
the engine to boot.
with the engine, precisely. So when you combine that engine, with that
Mm-hmm.
technical ability, right? And I'm telling you that the technical ability is there. I mean, I see this player dribbling past players with his weaker foot. Like
Yep.
literally dribbling past. Like he is very good. He's a press resistant midfielder. Very good in tight spaces. He's just the full package. When you talk about a well-rounded CDM, a ball-playing engine, David Davis is the man. If David Davis had started this World Cup qualifying campaign for us, we'd be on 11 points at the very least. We'd be in a much better position. Me not ask Christ if we'd have been in a much better position than we are now. We'd have probably been on 10, 11, 12 points, honestly. That's how good the player is. That's how highly I respect him. I said in my video that when I heard about this player initially, and was going to do research into him, I did it because it's my job. But I wasn't too optimistic because me I say, yo, get another League One CDM. But
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I was pleasantly surprised, man. He was a starter in the championship for years. It's a season and a half ago he moved down to the to League One. He also played games in the Scottish Premiership and the English Premier League as well for Wolves, in the Scottish Premiership for Inverness. And I think he's still a championship quality CDM, right? He had made a loan move to Shrewsbury Town years ago, if memory serves me right. And even though he had other teams, even in the championship, that wanted to sign him after he moved, his time at Birmingham had ended, it looks as if the player really enjoyed his time at Shrewsbury Town.
Okay.
And it seems as if he really wanted to kind of go back there to see out his career, so to speak. Because to be fair, he is 30 years old, right?
I was about to ask. Yes.
But trust me, man, I think he's a championship CDM quality. And he was a starter in the championship in the second division in England for years. And you can see, man, he's a beast in the third division, man. Just a quality player. I am more impressed with his performances in the third division this season than Stewart's performances in the third division last season.
Really?
And I rate Stewart. Honestly.
Respect.
As to the part about the key players
Yes.
for today's game.
The leaders. Who's going to be standing up and calling the shots and ensuring that if heads drop, heads raised once again, chests come out, and we can actually play smart. Back to that football IQ as well as the big heart. Go ahead.
I think that, and I soon read out some of the comment section. 'Cause we're
For
not
sure.
ignoring the commenters.
Yeah, man. Hit the like as well.
I think that this game is Ravel Morrison's time to shine.
Ah.
I think this game is Ravel Morrison's time to shine. Right? I think the scenario, I think this is it. I think this is his time to shine. Obviously, Mikel Antonio, we're going to want Mikel Antonio to put away the chances when he gets the chances, hold up the ball well like he does in the Premier League, put himself about and be a physical presence that, the Mexicans should, find, difficult to handle, like all the
A
big players.
menace.
Exactly. Like all the big players in the Prem find difficult to handle. I expect Blake to make the saves when he's called upon to make the saves and also dictate things coming out from the back, right? I expect Damian Lowe to be a leader in the back line, and I expect Pinnock to have a big game. The fullbacks, especially Javane Brown. Javane Brown is going to be key. You know, all the while when we play, even in the friendly against Peru, a lot of the attacks keep coming down the right hand side of our field, of our defense. The reason for that is they have watched the tape and they have seen weaknesses down that side. What they have not
Hmm.
realized is that the weaknesses came from Alvas Powell and O'Neill Fisher. Is a different animal them have to deal with now with Javane
Go ahead.
Brown, right? And I think, you know, I expect him to be a stabilizing force on the right hand side of our back line, and hopefully there's not too much pressure that comes down that flank. I think Mexico is a team that I realize whenever things aren't working for them, they're gonna try something else. So probably they're gonna try and attack that side. If they're not getting any joy, the pressure down, that's they're gonna try another point of attack. And when that happens, I really and truly hope and I expect, judging from what I've seen from Paul Hall, in the Peru game, I expect Javane Brown to have some offensive input as well. I was very impressed with the link up down the flanks between the
Yeah.
wingers and the fullbacks, and also the interchanging and the movement, right? That that whole vibe down the flanks, down the wing channels with the fullback and the wingers, whether it was winger going wide and fullback underlapping, or fullback or winger rather making runs inside, into the half spaces and the central channel, and winger overlapping. So, that relationship I think would be very important. And I think it will be something very new and something that Reggae Boyz fans will enjoy under this new gaffer that we never necessarily saw much of, if any at all, under the previous gaffer. So,
Well, you talk. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, man. So, those are some of the things that I expect. Hopefully, D-Card over Reed isn't too depressed by the miss in the last game as well, and shows his English Premier League quality as well.
Yes, Mr. Reed. I feel that the jury's out in certain aspects of his game, but I'm hoping that he brings his A game and leaves it on the pitch if selected, or if he comes off the bench. And it's the bench that I want to draw your attention to, Formula viewers and subscribers. The bench. Is there a definite? In fact, wait a minute. There's a two-parter again, and we're going to join the JPL. I don't know if you cover the JPL or follow it closely, Formula. But what's been the traditional purpose of and use of substitutes in Jamaican football? And is there an optimum period or time in a game where at international level you feel that Tapper left a lot to be desired, and Paul Hall will be closely observed and watched to making substitutions at this quote unquote special or particular time in a game?
I think that's a massive point, Richard, because me personally, I know some people ask for Paul Hall to have been excused where the subs was concerned in the Peru game. I personally wasn't too impressed with the subs. That was
I
the
didn't hear
one.
about that, by the way. I didn't
Yeah,
hear about
man.
that formula. You said that he was given. People were asking for him to be given a pass on what grounds?
Basically on the grounds that people thought that the subs were just to look at players. Right? And I understand the point, but I don't necessarily fully 100% agree with it. I think that we needed certain attacking changes, that would have coincided with us looking at new national talent in attacking positions, right? Like, I think Busy should have been brought on a lot earlier than he was and given more time. Akosa Chang, we didn't see many at all. Why wasn't Tevin Shaw given a run out to see what he can do in the middle of the park in a position that we desperately need reinforcements? We needed to have at least given the youth a chance to see if him can, do something for we if we need him at any point in time in the position. So I personally wasn't too impressed with the substitutions, even from the standpoint of looking at young players and not necessarily trying to, have an impact on the game or trying to make the necessary changes to win the game. Even from the perspective of looking at young players, I think the subs weren't that good. So I think that would be very interesting to see, how Paul Hall goes about, his substitutions. That was one of the main issues that we had with Theodore Tapper Whitmore. One thing I don't think with Paul Hall we'll have a challenge with is I think Paul Hall will not be reactive in his substitutions. Because even when Tapper was the gaffer, a lot of the times when the substitutions were made, you could see that it was Paul Hall getting up off the bench and applying the pressure and saying, Gaffer, you need to make the sub now. You could see it. There are a number of games you can point to where you see Paul Hall get up off of the bench and turn upside a Whitmore with the book in his hand. I think initially Tapper was, did not want to hear it. But I think in the latter stages of the qualifiers, you could see that as soon as Paul make the step and make the page, you saw Tapper lick shortly after make the sub. So I'm not concerned about reactive substitutions from Paul, But, as it remains, this was an unanswered question from the Peru game. I don't think we'll have issues with substitutions from Paul Hall, but it was still, for me personally, an unanswered question from the Peru game. Does he have the ability to see the changes that needs to be made and
Right.
make them in a timely manner to be able to have the required or the necessary impact on the game?
In the Jamaican leagues, how are substitutes looked upon? Is it a crucial position to be on the substitutes bench? I heard them talking about rubbing the bench, but are they used judiciously in the Jamaican game? Are there Jamaican coaches who could show Paul Hall the way, the Lenny Hydes and Wally Downs and so on and so forth?
I don't think there's any Jamaican coach that can show Paul Hall anything. And that's
Hey, yeah,
that's with the greatest respect to them. That's with the greatest of respect to them, right? That's
oh
no
yeah,
offense.
that's it.
No, but they just don't have the qualifications. Paul Hall is a UEFA Pro licensed coach. These are CONCACAF B and C licensed coaches. They don't have the expertise to show Paul Hall anything. And I mean, no disrespect to them. I'm not saying they don't have the ability. They might well have the ability, but they don't have the knowledge, right? So, they can get the knowledge and go seek the knowledge. The knowledge is there. Move from the C license to the B, move from the B to the A, move from the A to the Pro, right? Remember, a UEFA Pro license is like a PhD in football, man. That's like a PhD of football, So that's like asking a man who has a high school diploma or a college diploma to give a man advice. A man who has a PhD in the same field. I mean, yes, there's little things that him can probably, if he's smart, but you get the general, you get the gist of what me I try to say. Him just is just a different class entirely. But I do think that I think coaches in Jamaica understand the importance of substitutions. The players might not be, fans of rubbing the bench. And truth be told, no player anywhere in the world is a fan of sitting on the bench. That's not looked upon with admiration, players sitting on the bench. But I definitely think the coaches our coaches have talent, they just might not have the knowledge, but they have talent, so they know the importance of substitutions and understand, how it can impact the game and the necessary impact that it can have on the game. I want to read out some of the comments because we have been ignoring the comment section for a little while. Karoom said, I don't like sweet mouth coaches. First of all, what does a sweet mouth coach mean, Karoom? I don't know. Probably call me a young bud, Karoom. I've never heard about a sweet mouth. When you apply common sense, I think I know what he means. Basically, he must say Paul Hall talk the talk. Seeing and he speaks very eloquently but my thing is that is actually very encouraging because when you see a man know him craft, right? An indication of whether a man knows his craft, is how well him can talk it. Right? If you go in our legal firm, in our law firm, and you are sit across from the attorney at law, and you ask the attorney at law questions, right? And the attorney at law stutter all about the place and not talk the thing, even if you not understand where the attorney talk about. At least the fact that the person is speaking well and speaking fluently and speaking confidently and speaking as if the person knows what they're talking about, that will inspire confidence. And usually when them talk the talk, usually people who can talk the talk, who really speaks, who can really break down into their profession into words, usually them can do a decent job. That was one of the knocks we had against Tapa Karoom. Remember that Karoom when Tapa is struggling at the interview, them man, and that never inspire no confidence in any of us. And I mean, him never prove wrong on the field either. No offense to the legend Theodore Tapper Whitmore. Haka was out. Yeah, man. With one against one in one game though. You see Peter Cargill was a snail, but you know what him the best? He uses brain. Oh yeah, good point. Yo, Karoom, you would know. By the way, guys, oh no, ramp with the likes button, guys. Smash the like button, guys. Free and easy way to support. Karoom,
Hit it,
you would
hit it,
know
hit it.
you would know Peter Cargill better than I do. Would you say that Anthony Grant and Peter Cargill are very, very similar in terms of, would you say that Anthony Grant reminds you of Peter Cargill? If you're still watching, hit me in the comment section. Would you say that Anthony Grant reminds you of Peter Cargill? Because Peter Cargill now was like 36, right? And he was not, I mean, to say he was not the quickest player would be an understatement. Does Anthony Grant remind you of Peter Cargill? Hit me up in the comment section and let me know. We get caught up with these new term of breaking the line or breaking that line. Come on, we play football. That is not a new term though, Karoom. That is just standard footballing jargons and footballing lingo, right? That helps us to break down the game, but we need to break the lines, Karoom. If Whitmore got caught up in that new term of breaking the lines, we wouldn't be in the predicament that we are in now. Whitmore needed to have, gotten caught up in breaking the lines because
Oh God.
we struggled to break the lines under the last coach. So, that's a very important term in football, Karoom, breaking the lines. Today game about who deal with the transition best. Simple. But Karoom, transitions are not the only moments of the game though, Karoom. You have, about 5 moments of the game, man. Yes, the attacking and defensive transition, but there are also other moments in the game as well. So I understand your point though, and I see why you say what you say, but me not fully 100% agree though. But me understand why you say what you say. But there are other moments of the game as well to Karoom. But I understand what you say. It is arguably your point. I wouldn't say it's today's game is about who deal with transition best. Simple. It has a lot to do with that. That is true. A lot to do with that. But I wouldn't say it's entirely based on that.
Well, Karoom is not necessarily saying it solely. I think he's saying that this is going to be the key, or arguably the key element of the game. Certainly one of the key elements, and I think we'd agree with that.
I do. Formally, have players who look best in a back three and more susceptible in a back four. Why that? Ooh, that's a tough question, and that's a good question. I don't know that.
It's a good question. I think it may have something to do with responsibility. I think not many teams traditionally use a back three. Usually, you hear about the central defensive pair. It's a central defensive pair. They are given the task to deal with the high balls, to deal with the attackers coming through. They are some of the finest defenders. They've got to be a bit of a all-rounder, particularly today. So you've got the Thiago Silvas at Chelsea, for example, who's great in the air, but he's also good on the ground. And it's usually a pairing traditionally with the fullbacks. Yes, of course. Carrying out, but the fullbacks carry out their roles. So usually it's a central pairing. When you've got the three now, and I remember when Brazil won the World Cup in 2002 in Japan and South Korea. And I think they started out with a back two, but they realized that they'd work better with a back three to help out. I think it was Rock Santa Cruz who went on to Leeds, didn't fill himself with glory, but they decided that they needed extra support and extra defensive strengthening. So they went with a back three. And for that reason, they felt comfortable because they knew what they needed and they knew their respective positions in that back three. But a back two, usually people feel comfortable. If you've got a back three, somebody who's usually given the responsibility with another person in a back three. Sometimes you might be at twos and threes, sixes and sevens, as it were, as to, oh, am I meant to go after this man? Am I meant to cover this man? And sometimes there's where that snooze and you lose comes in. Potentially, snooze and you lose means if you switch off, or you feel that okay, I don't have to jump for this ball, someone else will jump and get the ball, or someone else will be marking that man.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't always work out like that. So it sounds in theory a back three central defenders, tall, rangy, good on the ground, good in the air. You'd feel okay, you're onto a winner, but it's not necessarily so. So it depends on. I think it depends on football and IQ. It depends on good coaching and everyone singing from the same hymn sheet, and it does require preparation. It's one of the fundamental reasons why we don't see a back three in most of the teams in the Premier League. We don't see back threes. It's usually a back four, but it
It's
depends.
a
You've got
bit
to
more
really train
popular
and
now,
know
though.
what's going on.
And it
Oh yes,
depends on
yes, yes,
ability of it depends on the ability of the players too. It's a bit more popular.
absolutely,
But
absolutely, absolutely.
Mr. Dreadino said Karoom Hugh formula look like him can't even juggle five. I would disagree. I was a decent player, you know, man, back in my time. You know. Truth be told, all right. I played from a high school. I played from a high school. I not when I was at public school. Not when I was at public school. I didn't try out for my team when I was at public school. But because in all honesty, I went to a couple schools. I went to a couple high schools, admittedly. But one of them being a private high school and three of them being public high schools. But juggling a simple thing, man. We can juggle. We can stand up for an hour and just juggle the ball. I mean, not exaggerate and do the tricks and around the world and stuff like that. Yeah, man. From a technical standpoint, in all humility, I was a decent player. The thing where it kind of killed me though was I think I was playing the wrong position. I was playing as a winger or especially as a wing forward. I never really have the pace. I was very slow. And I think that was what really gave me a beating. But I play a couple games all from my high school, man. Yeah, man. Play all game up a UE ball as well. Yeah, man. I
All
mean,
right.
me not say I was not star ball or not like that. But when Jerdino say formula look like he can't even juggle five. No, man. We can juggle way more than five, man.
Tell them
Way more
formula,
than
tell them formula.
way more than five.
What else do we have in the comment section? I hope that answers the question. Did you have anything to add towards
The
the
back four,
explanation
back
regarding the
three
back three?
deal.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I mean, for yes,
It's a good question.
ability. Yeah, it is. It is a very good question. Ability of the players in question is one, and I think that the back three versus a back four, there are different dynamics at play in both, and and different responsibilities, roles and responsibilities, obviously, and I think that it all depends on the ability of the players that you have at your disposal, and some people just naturally, when you give them a different role, let's say for instance somebody is used to playing in a back four, naturally when you give them a role in a back three, the roles and responsibilities might be a little bit different and they just don't adjust well, they're not comfortable enough for whatever reason, probably the muscle memory isn't there, probably it would take them time to adjust. I wasn't a defender, so I can't tell it from a personal standpoint. Just as a fan of the game, watching the game, from a tender age. Upbeat boss, a Jamaican like tough and rough defender, but football transform where defender is now thinnest. I see a point in terms of football has transformed in terms of you don't necessarily have to bust a man lace to be a good defender. I think we as even Jamaicans we need to more acknowledge intelligence. or the role of intelligence in being a good defender. That's why I don't agree with people when they say Richard King had a good performance against Peru. Don't get me wrong, the player never played badly. He played okay, but there were a whole lot of times where he was positionally poor and lacking intelligence in terms of where not being where he was, where he needed to be. Don't get me wrong, the youth show potential. He showed potential, and
He did. He did. He did.
yeah,
The glass was half full. The glass was half full, not
yeah,
half empty. He had showed ability in playing the ball out from
yes,
defense and playing
yes,
it into the
and
midfield. Yeah. So there was lots to build upon. But yes, we're not saying that he's the next Paolo Maldini. No, but
Richard, I
it
agree
shows
with you.
points
Yeah,
of promise. Yes,
I agree with you 100%. He did very well on the ball, very well on the ball. My issue with King is just the positional play at times. The intelligence, and yes, that will come with experience.
of
You know,
course,
it will give him time for us to screw on him head pan him body properly. Well tight, so him know where him a do but out there. But one thing I do respect about him though is that for a young player making his debut, him never looked like he was intimidated by the moment at all.
absolutely, absolutely. Shone through.
Yeah, but I do think that from the footballing IQ still does need some work. It does.
That comes with time. That comes with time, and long may he be in the setup and learning from the likes of Pinnock. I, before hold on, you see, I call out that one Pinnock. Do you want to elaborate anything, any more on why Ethan Pinnock isn't seen as a top Jamaican defender? I mean, we see the potential. The man's playing for Brentford. We see the rangy attacking abilities the man shows. We see his defensive uh, strengths in the Premier League game after game. He's called out and shouted out by panelists in forums across the land. And yet, in Jamaica, the land of his dreams, is it like the old saying about the prophet? A prophet is never well loved or well respected and acknowledged in his own land.
Richard, it's a good question. The best I can tell you is that for some strange reason, people just automatically form the perception of Ethan Pinnock when Josh Sargent turned him inside out in the US game. That's the best me can tell you. Me can't tell you nothing else because honestly, it is baffling to me how people do. People said he performed poorly in the Panama game. With the greatest of respect to anyone who has that opinion, what are you talking about?
Hey,
Me not understand that. How anybody can think that Ethan Pinnock did not ball in the Panama game? Ethan Pinnock was the look. Liam Moore had a poor game in the Panama game. I cannot blame Wes Harding for what took place in the Panama game. That was a coaching error, right? He was constantly being doubled up on with no help whatsoever. Absolutely none. Constantly
I,
being in
I
2v1 situations
I
isolated.
still find it hard to watch that game. Of all the
Yeah,
games in football that I've seen, that Panama game at the office,
it
I,
was a
I,
hard one.
oh god, it's a hard one to watch. So I'm glad that you picked up on things. Yeah, go ahead, Formula. It's a tough one. That particular game, man. Look.
You know how hard that game was? I've never seen Tapa look so dejected. When the game finished, Tapa lean up on the bench, Guys, how many of you remember when Tapa lean up on the bench? With him
Really, yes.
my hands lean up, like him just look like him would have just on the ground for just open up and swallow him up, man.
Oh,
He never even want for him, like when you try hide, but you know where I go.
hey,
No way, no dead for you go. But so yes, but so I understand that we lost the Panama game badly, But you can't look at Ethan Pinnock's performance in that game and think that the player played poorly. Whatever came down his side, he dealt with accordingly, right? And he made the necessary passes, did the necessary things to help out in terms of playing out from the back. And I feel fault say, the attacking structure was so poor that the players in front of him struggled to keep the ball. So, me not understand how people, and honestly, Richard, is a good question, but me can't answer because me not know why Jamaicans don't rate Pinnock is beyond me. I think the player is a top class player. I mean, my God, man, watch English Premier League every week and see man a ball for Brentford, brethren. Has Ethan Pinnock had a poor game this season? I haven't watched every Brentford game this season, but the games that I have watched, brethren, I don't know if it's a coincidence. Every time I watch Brentford, Ethan Pinnock ball, but I don't know, probably him perform exceptionally poorly when the games were I watch. I don't know.
He's not been stellar every single game, but who is? You can pick holes in any player you so choose. You can pick holes in Leo Messi's and Cristiano Ronaldo's games, for heaven's sake. You can pick holes in anyone's game, but Ethan Pinnock overall has shown his class and poise and ability as a defender, both going forward and importantly in defending. And I think that if he's, I hope, and do you think that he actually has the respect and regard and trust of his fellow Jamaican teammates? And in your opinion, Formula, who is the go-to guy or guys? If you had to call out two names when we talk about defense, which two names?
Yeah, that's
Number
a tough
one and then number two.
no, it isn't really tough when I think about it. Lowe and Blake. I think that the UK born players, when the UK born Jamaicans, when they come out here, I think that they look to the local born players. This might be a controversial statement, but this is just
I was about to say Formula, and you've been making a few of them tonight. This is one of the reasons why this show is top notch. Hit the like button. You call it as you see it. This is something that we've got to acknowledge and respect.
Richard, I am going to say things even if it might be controversial, even if people might beat me. Me know the videos where I go get beaten for, I'm still put them out anyways. See, I think that the UK born Jamaicans, when they come out here, they kind of look to the local born players that they come and see in the squad as leaders. I think they kind of look to them for guidance. I don't know why. Probably it's because they think that they were here before them. So there's a level of respect there. And also, they would know the lay of the land more so than the UK born player. So they'll be far more familiar with the circumstances. And then there's obviously the whole perspective of you come out here and you see who are run things and you just kind of respect the man in charge, so to speak. I don't know, but I personally think that so given that perspective, I think a Damian Lowe and a Blake, would be definitely the ones that in the back line would be leaders, so to speak. And then they play with this level of command. You see Damian Lowe on the field shouting instructions, just they kind of have probably a more tech charge kind of mentality. I don't know, but that's how I see it. That's how I see
I wonder what the viewers and subscribers out there
that's
make
a
of that. Who are the
controversial
top
comment.
two?
We'll
Who are
probably
the
get
top
some
two
dislikes for that.
defenders in the Jamaican team? I mean, Lowe, interesting, interesting. Blake and Lowe. I'd be
Don't get
fascinated
wrong,
to see what
Don't get
people are
wrong,
saying.
I'm not saying that Lowe is better than Pinnock, I would be a fool to say that. I'm not saying that. That would be stupid. So I just want to make that absolutely clear. Obviously, Pinnock is a better player than Low and has obviously been proven at a much higher level than 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 Low,
Damien.
right?
Hmm.
I just think from the standpoint of leadership, right? I think that, and Ethan Pinnock has only played 2 games for us. He cannot really and truly command any authority in the team, even though he has not played enough to earn that right, so to speak. Whereas a Damian Lowe has been playing with the team for years. You know, good comment on the screen, Karoom. Yeah, boss. Yeah, fire tonight in a boss.
For real, for real, for real.
Be
When I come with now,
careful.
sir? Big
Be
time.
careful of the start of this front foot. Make sure you have protection when Mexico break. And we spoke about that earlier because, as I stated earlier, whenever Mexico evade that press,
Hmm.
they get the ball into the final third very quickly, man. Frighteningly quickly in the blink of an eye. They almost caught out the Americans with it a couple of times. We have to have that tactic in place to either delay the attack or extinguish the fire relatively quickly, or try and prevent the outballs. I don't know, it would be interesting to see, delay the attack until more support arrives, in greater numbers, you know people making that transition from out of the front press into the defensive transition. So I don't know. We just have to wait and see how Paul Hall plays it. But this is a very good comment, and it's a very good point, and is a reason why I highlight it, because it is indeed something that we have to be very, very mindful of. And let me tell you, why we even have to be even more mindful of it? Because of Funes Mori, his ability to link the play, find those pockets of space and link the play. A guy like that roaming behind our pressure lines in a man, right? He's gonna find space, he's gonna pick up those pockets of space, and he's gonna link the play. And that will help to facilitate, you know, Mexico, evading that pressure and getting into a final third very quickly. So, and I think I think Funes Mori links the play slightly better than Raul Jimenez. Some of you might disagree, and that's fine. I respect that, and I understand where you're coming from. Funes Mori might be poor in front of goal, but when it comes to linking the play for Mexico, man, he is very good, man, very good. Boss, we're on phone. I can watch this free later. I don't know about free, but I know it is on Flow Sports for $7 per month. Think it's 7 US. Yeah, 7 US. So if you have 7 US and you're willing to pay a monthly subscription fee, you can get it there. Can someone tell me please and thanks where can I watch this game? Oh, yeah, man, answer that already. Heard Natty, big up yourself, boss. Big comment this in. This is the biggest comment from 19 people. Jamaica 2, Mexico nil. Boss, music to me ears.
That would send
Big up Roderick.
Mexican alarm bells would be truly ringing with such a scoreline. Do you think that Mexico are looking, as you go through the comments, Formula? Do you think that Mexico are coming happy potentially with a draw, whereas Jamaica have to win? I say have to. Is that the way you see things having to play
Yeah,
out?
yeah. I think Mexico's last 2 away games obviously did not go well from a
Hmm.
result standpoint.
Results. Hmm.
Um, I think that would be the common sense thing that, and especially with a new coach, they don't really know what to expect, right? I mean, I think they would be looking into him, and from what they would have seen, they definitely, it would give them cause to be cautious, so to speak. Especially coming into our home when they know that we need a win desperately, right? I think that's the way how it initially, that's the way how both, especially the Mexicans will see it. I think they will be coming. I think they'll be very happy if they get a point. I think they'll be content with a point. And obviously we will not be content with a point, even if Panama loses. That is an app, or just go on YouTube and search. Eric, I think his goal, I think his goal, you probably might be able to see it on the his goal website as well, I don't know though. For me personally, his goal doesn't work. But I hear a lot of other people. It has worked for me in the past, but in recent times, not so much. But I hear a lot of other people talking about his goal. That it
His
works,
goal,
still working.
his goal has been very good. I watched the Jamaica versus Peru goal on game on his goals, but for playing in Jamaica, it may be a different
Yeah,
scenario. And in
yeah,
terms of availability, as you said, formula.
yeah. Luton Fire saying the players we have now can manage any intense football game at any time of the game, and they are all in mid-season of the campaign. No excuse, they are 100% professionals. They're all in mid-season of the World Cup qualifying campaign, I think is what you mean by that. Fair point. Can't argue with that. Karoom said football is 90 minutes when most goals are scored the first 15 minutes and the last 15 minutes of the first half, and the first 15 minutes and the last 15 minutes of the second half, we have to concentrate. Okay?
Big point, a real point, real. I said snooze and you lose. Snooze, you fall asleep, and that's when someone can strike. Peru did it against Jamaica in Peru. Second half, everything was going well. One moment into the
That early
box,
goal, yeah,
lose
that
the first
early
header.
goal.
Yeah, lose the
Yeah,
first header, then
yeah,
lose the second header. Criminal. Two
yeah,
headers lost in the penalty area, and from then on, difficult. We don't want Jamaica to be chasing a game unnecessarily, and we don't want to be conceding uh, soft, is what we call
yeah,
it, soft goals. So it absolutely, Karoom's absolutely right. Those are pivotal points in the game, and I'm sure Paul Hall will have drummed that into the players, and I think these senior players will be fully aware of what's required out there this evening. But it's a very, very important point. You've got to be switched on. You've got to be proactive, not reactive.
yeah,
Run and play for each other. Make sure you've got your fellow players back. You don't want Andre to be saving shots and strikes where no one's in the way. If you can plug it and stop it from happening, minimize the danger, do it. Do
yeah.
it by any means necessary. That's what I'm looking out for in the commentary. How many hours have we got to kick off formula? I'm gonna grab something to eat and
It's
leave you to do
1:30
your
now.
thing.
It's
1:30.
1:30. So
Uh-huh.
the game starts at 7 o'clock. So what? That's 5.5 hours from now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
5.5 hours. So are you gonna grab something to eat, or
Yeah,
what's your
man,
plans leading
definitely.
up to it?
Definitely. We're gonna shell down a meal and do other one and two little things before the game and start. I'm going to do a watch along starting it at around 6:30. So, you know, yeah man, we
Okay.
have some things to sort out before the game starts. So yeah, by the way,
Okay.
Jamaican Guna, boss, I have absolutely no issues with your boss. Nothing but ratings and respect, boss. Since I just want to make that be known. Nothing but
A
ratings.
Jamaican Guna, you said? Jamaican Guna?
Yeah man, I see him in a chat, man. Him know what me I talk about, man. He knows
All right.
exactly.
You know, so a big brother, a big brigadier that, big up Jamaica. Now, I hope everything is blessed between the two of you, of course.
Yeah
Two
man.
big man. Yeah, man.
Nothing but ratings and respect for Jamaican. Nothing but positive energy, man. Yeah, man.
Respect.
Up to the
Respect.
other day, he and I were on a stream together. Guna, let me tell you this. Guna is one of, there are certain people when them jump onto the panel,
Uh-huh.
I really and truly love when certain people jump on the panel, man. Because and you yourself, Richard, are one of those people as well. It's always nothing but some very good conversation, man. So,
Bless.
big up
Bless.
Jamaican Guna. Kurt Steele, that show you Tapa never gave all an input in the team. That show you Tapa never gave all an input in the team. Boy, boy, we can't leave Tapa alone, man.
We don't want to ackle our nerves right now, you know. We don't want to ackle up the nerves. No, Paul Hall is at the helm, and
Yeah.
I tell you, it was almost like a bad dream before. But to see I mean, you've seen it, the press conferences, to see the conferences, to see how the team performed just in that first half against Peru, to see the confidence and the vibe of the players during the training that we've seen ahead of this game. It's almost chalk and cheese. It's back to that chalk and cheese thing. So we don't want to beat down on what's gone past. What we want to look at is the present, here and now. All minds focused on what are going right about now and in a few hours' time.
Two things. No, more than two things. One, smash the like button. Smash the like button. There's something else I wanted to say though. I don't know. It
Was it
slipped.
around? Was it around Tupper? I mean, the point was made
No,
about
it
Tupper
wasn't
and Hall.
football based. It wasn't football based. It was house cleaning matters. Oh, Eddie Guna. By the way, Eddie, I don't know your device now connect. I don't know what is taking place. Your device just not connecting at all, boss. So I can't add you.
Wait, something going.
Family.
Boss.
Yeah, man, everything good?
Yeah, man, everything government. We there just chop it up, you know.
Are you happy about the game?
In terms of our chances,
Yeah.
yeah, man.
So what I can tell you, I was in a Twitter space with Mexicans last night, and their space, and it was talking about how slow the midfield gonna be with Herrera and Guarado inside of the midfield. They said they don't have any speed, and they don't consider the wing backs good enough, Gallardo and Jorge Sanchez. So they're saying,
I agree.
and they said that the O'Haro and Hector Almeida, they're slow defenders, and Mikel Antonio will bully them, and he's fast. So this Jamaica has the speed and it has the pace. They should take control of the game tomorrow. I told them that they said that Jamaica doesn't have a good team. They don't play good. I'm saying that new gaffer, they playing better football. But one thing I can realize is that the coach from Mexico kind of underestimates this Jamaican team. I think that the lineup that he puts out, I think he underestimates this Jamaican team. Yeah, that's what.
But Alex, I think that's a decent point, Alex, in terms of, I think we probably can overrun them in the middle of the park,
Poquito Espanol division. Poquito.
and the Gallardo left the left back Gallardo too. I don't really rate him highly.
He's not fast. He's very slow.
Yeah, man. I see Tejan Buchanan and Weah slaughter time down the left there, man.
So the Mexican fans they're not happy. You have the lineup formula for the Mexicans?
You mean in terms of the squad?
Possibly the lineup that's they're gonna play against Jamaica.
Starting lineup is alluding to.
In terms of the possible lineup, no, I don't have a possible lineup. I hear different school of thoughts, but I don't have a possible lineup with me.
So whatever they post on Twitter, like the Mexican accounts they post on Twitter, that's the starting lineup, because the ESPN Deportes, they had because they're in Jamaica, all the Mexicans is in Jamaica right now, and they said that Tata is gonna start with the guy Alex Vega, Funes Mori, and Uriel Antuna. They said they don't read Uriel Antuna. It's just a fast.
So wait, want to what name Tata Chito? Tata Chito name the Jesus Corona, Sevilla.
Tecatito Corona.
Yeah.
He has an injury. They're not gonna play him in this game, so he's gonna.
Oh, what are you saying to me?
Yes.
You're joking, Alex.
Yes.
Alex, a joke, Yagi. So the front three of Mexico is out?
So the front three will be Uriel Antuna, Funes Mori, and Alex Vega. That's the three. That's the front three.
People.
Formula. Are we really are here, Sasa?
Yo, a three big exclusions that because I knew about Jimenez and Chucky Lozano. Me never know say Corona now go play neither. Them boy, they wait. Them boy than a dead man. Them boy than a dead man. How you talk to me? You know the only thing, the only sad thing about it though is that
their best centre back Cesar Montes, he got COVID, so
yes, he's out as well.
so,
Yeah.
but I'm saying the midfield is slow tactic. They slow. The midfield is slow.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, Alex.
But
They might not be. They are mobile enough to move the ball very quickly, doing Alex.
Yes, but I'm saying they slow. If you press them, they don't like to get pressed.
Yes, that's a fair point. Can't disagree with that. Can't disagree.
Listen, I'm gonna make a move and leave you guys to it, but I'll be listening as I hold a cup of tea and hold a little juice and box on something in preparation. And I may well be back for the live watch along. Your commentaries are top notch. Let me tell you, viewers and subscribers, when it comes to Formula Sports, live watch alongs, the place to be. Very, very, very good quality. So if you want to check it out, Formula Sports, hit the like button, peace and love, and go Jamaica. Go Jamaica. Leave it on the line. Formula, you look like you know a lot about this Mexican team. So you're whetting my appetite and you're suggesting as I leave, my heart is just that little bit lighter in terms of the task that presents and faces the Jamaican team is not as Herculean as one may have thought. It's not a vintage Mexican team, but we don't want to take anything for granted. We need to focus on our performance. Am I right, Formula? Am I right?
No, I agree. It is definitely looking like it's, as Roderick said in the comment section, it looks like
complacency. We can't play with complacency. We don't want to be complacent.
Don't get it wrong in the Formula. This Mexican team is a very decent Mexican team.
Yeah, man.
What I'm saying is, Formula, that they're
not the imperious Mexico that we have seen.
Yes,
I get exactly what you're saying. I get the thing that I am a little bit weary about though is that I don't think we are as strong on the wings to be able to take advantage of, especially the likes of a Gallardo.
But that's where you get backs though. Formula.
That's where you get what?
Inbox in the play.
Oh, okay. Fair. And I think Paul Hall will definitely get the wing backs in the play for sure. Alex,
Brown and Taxi.
Alex, them boy they dead, Alex. Them boy they must have dead, Alex. No corona. If we cannot be, yes, me know so we have, for instance, no Leon Bailey, no Jamalo. Yes, true. But given the team that we have, if we cannot beat Mexico without them front three, them established front three.
Funismore is not good on finishing though. I'm just letting you know.
He's very good with link-up play, but his finishing is poor.
Finishing leaves some to be desired, yes.
Yeah, he's very wasteful to be truthful.
Listen, I'm going to make a move. Captain Jamaica, as JD from IMAX it said, Captain Jamaica is in the house. And you know what? We've talked about the likes of Ravel coming. This is it. This is their moment, if picked. But Mikel Antonio, we're not speaking bundles about him. But trust me, if we can get the ball to him and provide the passes and the positions on the field, we can expect good things. Jamaica, good and true. We stand beside you, behind and in front of you. Go Jamaica. Go Jamaica. Hold tight here, Formula. Hold tight, Alex. One love, everybody. We'll catch you later. Guidance.
Yeah, man, Sir Richard. Bless up, man. Thanks for jumping onto the panel, man.
Man, must come from tier 1 and my brain gene must come from tier 1 and become a pronounce name going good. Telling your brain gene, bro.
Yeah, man, you just know you have to know the opposition team, man. Down to all the pronunciation, man. You have to know the opposition.
I can tell that the Mexican fans are not happy, bro.
What you expect from that game tonight, Alex?
I,
How you see it
I
going?
took a win still in a formula. I no like you. I'm a seed formula. I'm just seed formula.
Me feel it too. Me not gonna lie to you. Me see it and me feel it.
Yeah, man,
Me
I'm a
see it
seed
and me feel it.
formula. But you see, Mexican fans, them are worry. Even the Mexican fans, them tell me I'm gonna lose a game, man. I say, oh, they're not pleased with the lineup. This is what it this is, and Diego Linus is not starting either.
Yeah, he's not starting down at Betis.
Yeah,
Upbeat boss. Diego Linus now is he match fit?
I
Is
don't.
he match sharp? How effective can he be for them if him not playing for Betis? Him not play for Betis. A beer bench him rub down a Betis.
I think you would say LA Galaxy not start. Arajo. I forgot. Can I say pronounce the name? Arajo. He's not starting. It's gonna start Chaka Rodriguez, the bald guy. They don't
Mm.
him at all formula. They say they suck. They, but you see, formula me get insight from the training camp and when me hear formula, the pressing system when me go do, it'll cost Mexico a lot of trouble. Man cost Mexico for go long.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
call quick and I try to do quick formula, I'm gonna make up a mistake. Me I tell you formula.
And if them try play out of the pressure, the big, the our size advantage, we should definitely be winning those first balls.
Yeah, that's why I was saying that Mexico should have come from like Monday where you could have get used to the national stadium
When did they arrive? Them arrive Tuesday. Not Tuesday,
the,
them arrive.
the night.
Tuesday night?
Yeah, 11 o'clock.
What?
They never train until Wednesday.
So
They
you tell me say yesterday I just one training session alone they have?
in train in Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Mexico is different.
Oh, but only one training session out here.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They should have come from early formula.
Mm.
They should have came from early formula. You could get acclimatized and know what the field looks like and feel what the field look like. The national stadium, but you come from Tuesday night and you're gonna come play a game Thursday. No,
Yeah.
good enough formula. I'm just saying.
David Sukar. That comment is a decent comment, We need people who have dribbling skills that can break down defenses. Fair point. I mean, you can point to a Lamar Walker, but does Lamar Walker have the quality at this level to really be effective? Junior Fleming's a decent player. At this, Junior Flemings could be effective at this level if he has a good game, in my humble opinion. I am a fan of the player. I think he's a decent player. But I get your point, though. It goes back to the main problem we have is out wide. If we had better quality in wide areas, I think many of us, including myself, would be more confident. Which station the match is coming on? I can tell you app, Flow Sports app, but in terms of a station, in terms of a TV station, probably I don't know if TVJ Sports Network would have it. Try them now. Love the discussion, get the likes up. Yeah, man, heard Naki.
Flow waiting in there. Flow Sports that come pan tonight.
So that you go watch it, pan Alex?
No man, I don't know else goal on my thing already. But me a per month plus here and my TV, my pay fit a month. So watch it.
Oh. Chris Antonio, what you mean by Javane is not starting though? What you mean by that? No, sir.
I can say formula, I don't know if that lineup is true. So I'm not gonna
Mm.
like what everybody's saying, okay, that's true, and because they went to train and see some people in bibs and they think that's really not the starting lineup formula.
Look, I never saw the starting lineup, but from what I heard was they were saying that was being stated that was the starting lineup. If that lineup they really them say the starting lineup, me really and truly not think it is. But me never hear it, so me not gonna really to comment. But what you say, the starting lineup going around, is that a good starting lineup, Alex?
No, but in a sense, yes, because the midfield is fast. We have Damaraka run for the Mexican them. And Mexican midfield look old. The people must them be old man in midfield. They have young fresh legs that can run for them. So I don't really know in a sense. And people, Speedy can play defensive role. He's a good player. He don't really lose the ball. Family.
Yeah.
So
All right, Alex.
But Alvas, I don't think Alvas can start for me though.
No, Chris Antonio, me really and truly not see Paul Hall starting. Paul Hall is a sensible virgin, man.
But I
Paul
hear that.
Hall is a sensible man, He's a sensible coach in a boss. Me
But
no see him start
I hear that
Powell over Brown.
What I hear that from the coaches don't pick the starting level as yet. So that's what I heard from coach my sources. They didn't pick the starting level as yet. So they just take it down a little notch. People just take it down a little notch.
Okay, cool. Firstly, Eddie, welcome. We'll soon get out of here, but I just want to quickly say, Alex, give me your predicted starting lineup. What do you think? What's the starting 11 you think would take the pitch?
A 3-5-2.
Mm-hmm.
Centre back. I would pair Leon Moore. No. Ethan Pinnock on the left, Damian Lowe on the right, and I put Mariappa in the middle. I know people saying Mariappa this, but Mariappa is playing a lot of game time in the Australian A League, so I think he should get another head.
So
Right,
so the back three with Pinnock,
Mariappa
and Lowe. Okay.
and the front the wing backs would be Javian Brown and Greg Lee. In the middle of the part, I would go for Devon Speedy Williams, Daniel Johnson as a number, Ravel as a number 8, and Daniel Johnson as a number 10. I think Daniel Johnson is more effective in the number 10 role, and that
Agreed.
up top, I would have Mikel Antonio and Bobby Reed. That's my top tackle. I think Bobby Reed, he can hold the ball. I think Bobby Reed's not a hold up ball, but he can get the ball and play it to Mikel Antonio. He look a creative spot stuff, and Bobby Reed farm and fire.
Play off for Mikel.
Or you can let Andre Gray play the false nine and play that role very good as he play for QPR. And that's my starting level. But you know it thing already.
That not bad, Alex. Me can't beat that. That's
But
a decent starting 11.
me just come to my 2 cents and I cut out and I still farm.
Yeah, man. Big up, Alex.
Yeah, man. Just link me farmer. I can come do watch along later. You know it thing guy.
Yeah, man. Cool. No problem. Eddie, as a jumping boss, first of all, welcome, to the channel as always. You always get the channel a strength, so we appreciate it. As a jumping boss, where you would have as a starting 11 later tonight.
Yeah, Formula, big up and happy new year to you and your subscribers.
Yeah, man. We are the first we are linked from the year start.
Yeah, man.
How we answer? Big up, Eddie, man. Health and strength and blessings to you in all your respective endeavors, man.
Respect and big up Alex too.
Yeah, man. Big up Alex, man.
Very impressed with his Spanish. Big up yourself, Alex. All right, so you want my lineup?
Yeah, man. What you would have as the lineup?
3-5-2. So naturally Blake. The 3 would be Maps, Damian Lowe, and Pinnock. Left wing back Taxi. Right. Look at they going with Alvas. So
Alvas? No.
I want Javian but I hear in the rumors and rumors sound strong, so I switch into Alvas.
May I ignore the rumors, Eddie, and I suggest
let me go with my lineup then, Brown.
Yeah, where your lineup?
Yeah, man, strictly my lineup. Brown, Javian Brown. All right, in the middle, Speedy, Daniel Johnson. In the pivot, and Lord Ravel, number 10.
All right.
So I'm look now. Gray supporting Antonio.
So basically almost the same thing where Alex said you would have go with as well. Everybody wants to see the team playing on back three though, man. Everybody love back three.
Yeah, let's hope that we see that.
Everybody love back three. I heard that for the Peru game that one of the things that Paul Hall was trying out in training was a back three. But even under the Tapa regime, we hear say him was using back three in training sometimes, but him rarely did ever utilize it in the game. Karoom, David Davis plays for Shrewsbury Town in the 3rd division.
Remember, we kind of experimented with the back three in the Serbia game and the game that we won in Honduras.
Yes, we did see a back three.
Yeah, we kind of experimented there.
Mm-hmm.
But different personnel this time, so let's see.
Yeah. Me personally, me not have an issue with a back four. I would go with Taxi over Greg Lay. The reason being I've never no lie, foolishness me a chat. Me more know what me da get from Taxi than me da get with Greg Lay. In terms of I've seen Taxi play a lot more games. So me da err on the side of caution and me da go with Taxi. Me da go with Pinnock and Low in at the back four. And me da go with Javian Brown at right back, obviously. Because he's just a far better player than Alvas Poel. No offense to Alvas. Now say Alvas is a bad player, but me rate Javian Brown on another level. The two pivots, I would have Speedy and the midfield trio would be Speedy, DJ, and Ravel. So it whether DJ as the number 10 or Ravel and Ravel as the number 8 or Ravel as the 10 and DJ as the 8, it don't really matter to me. I'd probably more go with DJ at the 10 though when I think about it. So the two pivots, Speedy and Ravel and DJ as the number 10.
Yeah, man, the interchangeable. I'll try them.
Yeah. The wingers now. Who me da go for the wingers? Me da have Bobby D. Cardova Reed on the right, Flemmer on the left, and then obviously the big bad Mikel Antonio me da play through the middle. Wouldn't start Kevin Stewart. Kevin Stewart is not match fit or match shot. He hasn't even been playing for club. The man just come back. And you know what's sad about Stewart? One of Blackpool's games was postponed. I think it was Barnsley. And in terms of after Kevin Stewart came back from injury, one of the games was postponed. And also one of them, he was on the bench. He never, if memory serves right, he never getting a game time. So he's really coming here just completely, not much, just rusty, man.
Yeah.
I think it would be very good, no matter how the game is going, though. It would be very good if Paula gives him a half an hour run out.
Yeah, I agree. It would be a total surprise to see him in the starting lineup with one training session. But I agree with you. Should get at least 5 to 10 minutes if possible.
Yeah.
Because we need some kind of rhythm, for the next game. So if him can get a little rhythm in the 10 minutes.
Because I would love to see him start against Panama. So if him can get some amount of minutes in him legs. Tricky boy, we link Tricky boy. If you're still on, I just saw your comment in the comment section. But me would get Stewart a run out, a 30-minute run out for get some minutes in him legs, man. Honestly. Because I really and truly, really want to see that. I would start him against Panama. It depends. If him get the 30-minute run out and him look well off the pace, starting him in Panama is not an option. But if him get the 30-minute run out and him see him like him can handle it, me would have give him a 60 minutes in the Panama game and take him off and probably put on a Speedy to inject some life and inject some pace.
Yeah, man, we need a team that is fully at it for the Panama game. Because I think that the Panama game might be the toughest game for us.
Yeah, man.
Away from home. And this Panama team playing excellent.
Wait, hold on. The toughest, the most important, but the toughest, you think that game that would have tougher than Canada away? Canada, well, you know the thing about Canada away,
at that time, Canada might, and at that time, Canada might, have qualified or got some more points
Yeah,
and be confident, so them can probably just sit back.
yeah.
So we have to look at that.
That's a solid point, Eddie. You
You
know,
know,
you might be very well right.
Panama still fighting to
Yeah,
hold on to that fourth spot.
yeah. No, yeah, I can't argue with that. No, that's a very good point. That's a very good point, Eddie.
So
The
sometimes
Panama game.
it's good to play the teams that are way ahead late in the tournament. You know, they might
Yeah,
have qualified already and, more relaxed and comfortable.
yeah. The intensity probably might not be as much
As
as if
much,
they
right,
really needed the points.
right.
Yeah, that's a solid point. I can't agree with that. You know, you explain it now, and I agree. Panama away is, and you know the crazy thing about Panama away, not only might it be the toughest game remaining, but it's also the one where the most pressure would be on, because we really need to win that game,
Hmm.
because we need to peg back Panama. If Panama win that game, it is done.
It's over. It's
Done.
what the English call the 6 pointer, the ultimate 6 pointer.
Yeah,
We
man.
cannot afford to drop points in that game.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Eddie, you just jump on. Tell me how you see this game going.
Why is that a tough one, family?
Even with the front three out?
It gives us some hope, I hope the players, get some confidence from this and be more brave going forward. We don't need players to be shying away from the moment. With that said, I'm not certain if we should have started players like Lamar Walker. Because I see him in the potential starting 11. I don't like him in the lineup in such a big game.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
But it should give us some confidence to look at the Mexico team sheet to see a lot of players missing. And that maybe changed my prediction a little bit. So maybe a 2-0.
For
Very,
us?
yeah, I'm very, very hopeful.
Yeah. You know, the one of the main things that gives me hope is Funes Mori. Right, that brother, him wasteful in front of goal, man.
Hmm.
Him finishing poor. So even if him do get chances, which more than likely he will, I think we can hope that, I think we can remain hopeful that some of those chances will indeed be missed.
Yeah, man, it's better to have him taking the shots than Jimenez.
Yeah,
Jimenez is a more deadly striker.
yeah. I think Funes is better for their attack though in terms of linking the play, but you know what use is creating the chances if you can't put them away.
Hmm.
Simple as that. So you said 2-0 for Jamaica.
Yeah, 2-0.
Yeah, I mean I just the energy just feel like we're gonna win this one, Eddie.
Hmm.
Honestly, me just feel it. Me see it and I feel it. Right? No Chucky
And,
Lozano, no Corona.
and let me say this, my 2-0 is not a dominating 2-0. I think Mexico should and will dominate the ball. So it's more of a smash and grab, probably one early, one late.
So you not think we're gonna play upon the front foot, man, and show a much improved performance than previous performances?
Yeah, in parts, but in terms of long periods, maybe not.
Boy, I don't know, I not agree with that one there, no, Eddie. Me think we can really
Because it's difficult
show
to
some
say no,
authority in that game,
It's
man.
difficult to say no without the lineup.
Fair,
If I
fair.
was looking at the lineup, maybe I could make that
But
a better
but
judgment.
with the assumption that the right lineup will be selected, me think we can really play upon the front foot against the Mexican team, yeah.
Yeah,
Honestly, that
and
is
that
just my personal
that
opinion.
that that lineup would include Ravel.
Yeah, man, but
Hmm.
must. Lord Ravel, the man name in Eddie. The
Yeah,
man, you know name a man, you know name Lord Ravel, you know. You know have Lord as your first name, man, and for no reason, you know, man. If you call Lord Ravel, you call Lord Ravel for a reason. Guna, Jamaican Guna, what's happening, man?
Up Formula. Let's say to the other panelists. Big up. Good morning, good evening, good night to all our people in the chat. See it.
Yeah, man. Quickly before we
Yeah,
get
man.
out of here, just stick out. We're getting out of here very shortly, but just share your thoughts on what your foresee taking place later on.
Well,
Big game.
yeah, it's a big game, 2-1. Me assist still Jamaica, but it's gonna be a hard fought game. It's everything is stacked against Jamaica. You know, but we have to look at it. You know that Mexico is a superior team to us. Their players have been playing together for a while. They have more chemistry, team chemistry in that regard. I guess we have to just depend on the quality of our players and to come through. Them are missing some of them big hitters them still. Chucking our forward and the youth from Wolves. Jimenez in the either, so that is good.
Corona, from what I
He has
hear,
the
is
height.
not will not be there as
Yeah,
well.
and Corona. Yeah, I heard that. I think yesterday I heard that yesterday evening. So
Yeah.
so that's good for us. You know, going into this game. The bad thing as we're stacked against us as well is that we as Mr. We're not a fans in our stadium. That is
Yeah.
gonna affect the home team. But in reality we haven't the stadium is not what it used to be. Is no longer the office. I regard it as a shop. So it's not like our place where people used to come afraid, man a forward and a play a ball game. So it's not like before. So I think Paul, based on what he has said in his conversations, is looking to correct that.
Guna,
I
I
think
not
he's
like how
looking
you
to.
had this home ground doing a Guna.
No man, it's not the office
Our
again,
ground
bad
this
bro.
in a man, we have to, you can't have this
No,
ground,
it's
man.
and at this man, this it, it's sometimes disrespect is just talking the truth. Truth may
Yeah,
be
fair
offense, but it's
point.
not a sin. You know
Fair
what I mean?
point.
So
Panama did.
a man might be offended by the fact that is what it is,
Mm-hmm.
but that does not dispute the fact that it's a fact.
Panama
It's
did
not.
forward in our home ground and shell way out. So
Yeah, man.
fair
The man
point.
them play tiki taki run, brother, and I run up and down like and feel like it's a joke thing,
Yeah.
brother. Usually people come to Jamaica feel either it be the state of the field itself or whatever it may be, or the aura of the spectators, but they come and they're scared. That was a big factor in helping us to qualify for the only World Cup that we ever qualified for. It was part of we had a very impressive home record. We don't have that anymore,
Yeah.
and
That's
that's
fair.
fact. You know, so we're home. I think Paula want to restore that. Based on the conversation that I've had, he want to restore that. Also, he want to restore us playing how we used to play with wing backs um as opposed to just having a right back and a left back. You want to go with a 3-5-2 or a 5-3-2, whichever way you want to look at it.
He wants
But
to
I
have
think
them being integral in the attack.
in the
In the
attack, right,
attacking phase, yeah.
right. So based on what I've seen so far, because I'm using the only game I can use, it's not a great example, but it is the only one that we have, and it's the Peru game. And I'm seeing he didn't use three at the back that time though, but I'm seeing what he's trying to do in terms of the players being comfortable on the ball, not being scared to hold at the ball. I had a running joke that I think the players in the previous regime were instructed not to make 5 passes, or else they'll be penalized. So I think I think this coach is trying to get that out of the players. He's looking at runners in the middle of the park as well. I think that goes toward the exclusion of Grant. He's looking for
Yeah.
runners and you're looking for workers in the middle of the park, and that's a big weakness for us. And you realize that we're short on wingers as well, so I think he's trying to utilize the wing backs then to do that work. So I'm pretty confident going this game. Is usually not the case. I'm usually very cautious. Don't want to. They said Jamaicans, when it relates to our football, we're delusional, but on this occasion, I'm pretty confident that we can get a win. The team, hopefully, with a new coach, we have the new coach energy there. When a new coach comes in and bringing a new energy,
Yeah.
players
Yeah.
want to go out
That's
and
a
prove
good point.
themselves.
Yeah.
So
That's a good.
hopefully that can be the case. But I'm going into this game more similarly to how I was confident against Honduras, because I was one of the man with them bonfire and I said we not beat Honduras ever in the last 20 years in them place, and so I was one of them.
I don't think we had ever beaten them there. Not even in the last 20 years. I don't think we had ever beaten Honduras in Honduras up until that point.
Up until that point, yeah, I was one of the person, because remember, records are meant to be broken, so.
True.
When you run up on the field, and you go across the line, the form goes out the window, it's who performs on that day. You know what I mean? That's why upsets are part of football. That's why Greece won the Euros. You know what I mean? So we can't look at it like that. We have to just look at it saying, hopefully today our team goes out there and perform. A lot of people are not giving us any chance at all against Mexico, even though they are weak inside, and we are a strength inside. So that's just them. But for me personally, I am pretty confident in my team. I'm a Reggae Boyz supporter, win, lose, or draw. I am not going to be sitting here whining about players who are not there. I'm looking at who's there and who can I utilize. And all of the 23 players are out.
But Guna, boy, me leave the whining, leave the crying to me, because I tell you, if Jamal Lowe did in that squad, I made her tell you conclusively, we are going to beat Mexico. Seen? So, me do the crying for you. If you don't want to do the crying.
It's a Jamal Lowe, my baller to the formula. My baller that bro. Him to me is like him born on the rock, you see it? Him born in the island. Him have the flair there and the swag there when him
fair point, fair.
So, yeah, my baller that, brother. So I can see it's just match day, and want to focus on who we have here, who we have available. You see people put out a look of rumored squad, still bad, bro. I'm not 100% certain about that, but if that's a squad that actually takes the field, then what we are gonna do? We have to just work with it.
We are in trouble.
Yeah, well, we have to work with it. I see them have Lamar Walker playing as a midfielder, as a right midfielder. I think they put up a 4-3-3. Or 4-2. Yeah, 4-3-3, because nobody has a sitting midfielder in that early released squad. So today when we see the squad, I'm hoping that squad that came out earlier on is wrong. And we are seeing a starting berth for Ravel Morrison in the middle, DJ and Speedy. That's the midfield I would like to see take the field against Mexico. And strange enough, I would like to see Flemings. Flemings, he's very aggressive. So I would like to see him starting. I wouldn't start Corey Burke, which is in the early squad that has been touted.
Mm-hmm.
So on the left, I would like to see Flemings. On the right, I would like to see Dexter Daps, Michael Antonio down the middle, three midfield just mentioned earlier on, right back Brown, left back Taxi or Greg Lee, any one of them are good with.
Yeah. I'm not really fussy about the left back position. Me that give the edge to Taxi, because
myself as well. Right, myself as well. And it gives us a little more solidity as it relates to the defending part of it, But I'm good with the left side. I'm okay.
If it was Bell, I would have go with Bell over Taxi though, because I think Bell is the best left back we have.
Oh, you think Bell is the best left back?
Yeah,
and on a level though, as I said, in this match particularly, I would start Taxi, but I think Greg Lee is probably our best left back, So me disagree. Me feel like me like Greg Lee is like Taxi when him just boss. It's like Taxi 5 years ago.
See your point.
Aggressive. Him good at defending. Him good at squaring. Him have a racket for a left foot.
The energy.
Him have the energy there. Yeah, up and down the floor. Me like that. Me like that. So any one of them in our squad, bro. Me not lie. Anyone I left back them are good with. You know what I mean? And then we just start Ethan Pinnock at left centre half and Low at right centre half. I'm a side good. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about the defense. As long as it's not Alvas start on the right, as is what is proposed. Because bro, if him start on the right, the man just take the whole of them players, the whole 10 players, outfield players, and them just put them over the side. And just run down the side, like what them doing at every single match. From the Gold Cups come straight up the line.
And Alvas Paul hasn't played in a while. At least Javian Brown did get the little run out the other day against Peru. So I mean, to say he's not much sharp or much fit is an understatement.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. He
it
hasn't
wouldn't
he
even be a
hasn't
good
played, but
idea to start
brother,
him.
even with that play, I don't want him to start over Brown, brother. It no
Now,
matter
me
to me.
agree, me agree, me agree.
More Brown solid in the match against Peru, brother. The man solid, brother. The man like you're looking at it and be like, yo, where has this player been? Why have they been holding back this player? Or him wants in
Yeah,
the right back position, bro. Him
yeah,
solid defensively, him solid, him can if let's say because in how I look at it is this. Because he can overlap. I don't want two players who are run up and down too much. I want one to stabilize in case I'm going to try it up on the counter. You have one go and one can sit, So the one that can sit can tuck in a little bit and create 3 center half around there if we come under any, if we come under a barrage or attack. So all of them little things are hopefully what we're looking for. But that squad that they propose, it doesn't really make me comfortable. But if that's the squad, then I believe in Paula and I trust what he's trying to do. And maybe we have grown all these years. We have grown used to a particular style of football, and we're using that to, change your opinion. So let's see. I'm looking forward to the game though, and I predict a 2-1 win still with Michael Antonio Clark on the 9-8.
Yeah, man. Me think say Antonio go bulge in it tonight, man. Me sure of that. Me sure.
Bro, the man them are run scared that the man them afraid of Antonio.
Yeah, me hear say the man them not
I
too.
look like a bulldozer, me G. The
Yeah,
man them afraid
yeah,
of the man God. Yeah,
yeah,
me that just like to see Antonio running at these, 5'6" players. You know what I mean? With his big monster self that I run at them. It's gonna
yeah,
be
man.
it's gonna be something that I'm gonna relish. So hopefully that's what I see. And the reigns of these really good players that we have been them unleash them so the man them can express themselves. You know what I mean? Daniel Johnson. To me, he's a way better player than he has shown for Jamaica.
Because he
So
has
me that
been
just
playing out of position.
out of position.
He has never been played in his rightful position.
Well,
DJ is a
he
number
does
10.
play. Yeah, but he does play deeper, He does play 8 as well,
It's very rare though, Jamaican Guna. Very rare. Even at club for club, it's very rare. He has been with our national team since the Saudi Arabia games in the latter stages of
Yeah,
20.
yeah.
He has probably played deeper more for us than he has played in his entire club career. It's
Well,
very
me
rare.
that watch match with him at Preston, and he was playing at 8. He wasn't playing the 10. There was somebody ahead of him.
Okay.
So yeah, them time there because remember he's one of the players them where we would have been on the radar from a long time because he's
Yeah.
Jamaican born. So I'm
Yeah.
that's a Jamaican born player, So
Yeah.
he's Jamaican from a long time, but just wasn't in the national side. So we would have been aware of him from long before even Rupert and
Guna
them man.
careful, when I say Jamaican for a long time, you know a whole heap of people, man.
No, I mean Jamaican from me. All right, if you look on him
He's
status
officially a
on
Jamaican.
Google, right? If you look on Google, right, you'd see Jamaican as opposed to you'd see an England flag. You feel me? I say that's
Fair,
what I meant.
fair.
So
No,
yeah, so
me say it for you clarify it, so you don't get yourself in a problem.
yeah, man, a real pre, man, a real pre. Give thanks. But yeah,
You know
man, it's.
that's
I'm
okay.
very confident. I'm family. I'm confident I go into the game, man, bro. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
me just feel like say we're gonna pull an upset. And it's not just a score line, the score line is extremely important because we need a 3-pointer. We need 7 minimum from this, and 9 me want still ideally. But if we get
I
7, me that
think
work with that still.
honestly, me think we can get. I think at the very least we'll get 7 points. Me don't know if we want to win down in Panama. Me not so sure if we can win. We really want to win down in Panama, but I think at the very least we can get a draw in Panama. If we can't beat Costa Rica, then we need to go on our yard. And I think we can win today as well. I think at the very least we can get 7 points. Will 7 points be enough though? Especially if we not beat Panama.
Yeah, Panama the headache, brother. You see, the thing is Panama and Mexico playing, and for them third match is them versus each other.
Yeah.
So we have to hold one. We have to beat one of them, man, bro.
Yeah.
We have to beat Panama or we have to beat Mexico. We have to beat one of them. And we cannot lose any more matches.
How you want the Mexico-Panama game to go?
0-0 draw.
So wait, you know one of them pull away and leave one behind.
No, more Nilaja. More the two of them stay that way so we can catch them up.
Spot, you know. But boss, me just want to get the fourth spot in a boss.
Brother, listen me. If we can, and that you are ideally, you know. Remember, so the fourth spot is the half a spot, you know. But watch it on the formula. If you can get third, then I take it.
Yes, true.
Yeah, man. More and cripple one of them, man. More one of them in a pressure. I remember, so football is a game of the mind more time in the formula.
How realistic it is that boat will stumble.
Bro, football is not like that. It's not realistic. Anything can't win a football, brother. Portugal, Greece beat Portugal twice to reach the Euros final with Ronaldo. Nobody would have thought that would even be expected any at all, and that happened. So we can't football not work like that, brother. That's why upsets are made. What they one side name Sheriff beat great Real Madrid. So but football don't make like that.
Guna, the half spot they do, you know. The half spot there is against one little bug side from Oceania, you know. Because don't even be surprised if New Zealand make it out of the Oceania group, you know.
Oh, I never pay attention to the side.
What happened with Oceania, you know, new part of the Oceania qualifiers will be played outside of a FIFA window. So New Zealand is going to be missing a lot of their players, whereas the other teams in Oceania will have their strong teams because a lot of their players are semi-professionals.
Okay.
Who play in their country, whereas New Zealand.
So we're gonna play a lot of Tahiti or one of them side.
I not say that gonna happen, you know, but it is a possibility. It is a possibility.
Yeah.
New Zealand will make it out. Now they might very well make it out, but it could happen.
Yeah. You see, when I look on in a formula, watch out. When I look on is this. You see, the statement that can be made by us beating Mexico today is a statement that will ripple across the entire CONCACAF region.
I said it earlier in the show.
More some man for years Jamaica beat Mexico and sit down up good in them seat and I say what going on about there so. Me no want more we are put some side under pressure going into the next round. Me no want we are always under pressure.
Yeah.
Me want we are put some side under pressure. So ideally I would go for the 9.
Cautious.
No make we have to switch up and make some players here so we beat. Some players who they on the fence now and say if they want to represent Jamaica or not.
You see like how Panama forward our yard and no respect, no regard. The man then just play up on the front foot and clearly forward with a game plan for shell we out. If we can have a convincing victory tonight, the approach from other CONCACAF teams might shift because them realize say yo, is a different sheriff in town with Paul Hall.
Exactly. Because if you listen to the other programs, like if you listen to even, they're talking about the USMNT or the Canadian side. Bro, the man them feel like Jamaica is a rock side, brother. That's the disrespect. Yeah, man, them feel like we're a rock side.
No,
them
man,
feel like
what it is.
let me put it in context.
All right.
Not the players that we have. Not the players. They say we have one of the best squads in the CONCACAF.
Yeah.
However, them say we're rock side because our coach is naive. That's the word that they used.
Yeah.
Right?
Naive
so we are one rock side. We are good players, but we not nobody for make the players them perform at their best.
Boy, naive is a kind way to put it.
Well, that's what I heard from. I think it was ESPN too. I heard that from.
Yeah,
there was this, there was this panel discussion, and the man said the coach is naive because they were discussing some small little tactical stuff that he could have done to tweak the game, and they don't rate Berhalter as a tactical genius, but yet still, they are saying he outsmart. It's just them just them are TV presenters, so they might try to present themselves balanced and objective. But basically, they must style the thing and say, "Yo, we don't know where they have a good squad and we don't have nobody for mold them." So if we beat Mexico, we will send a ripple through CONCACAF, saying that Jamaica is not the same beast, that is not the same, not the local seal or where we did boys before. We are now a lion. You have to look at it different now, and other teams will approach us with caution, and they will be forced now to change up certain stuff when they're playing Jamaica, as opposed to we have to change up everything to play some side. So that will put even confidence in our team as well. Plus, as I was saying earlier, players who are on the fence about representing Jamaica, they might see that and say, wait, that look impressive. You know, these guys look like they actually business with this new coach. Let me go and you know, Louis Baker might hasten his
and well, Demari Grace is, you know, him supposed to forward in, you know, David Davis, but even a Baker, if we could have get a Baker for see what take place with we in a CONCACAF and say, you know, say, yo, they in a too late for me hop on a World Cup bandwagon. May I tell you honest, God Almighty truth, you know, I am not a late arrivals, you know, but if Louis Baker and them are Gray forward in,
brother, if them two man the forward, all right.
Because
those players are gonna be our elite level players. In my view, I think we only have 2 elite level players, or 3 elite level players in our team. We have 2 in this squad here, but we only have 3, including Bailey, in my view.
Bailey, Antonio, and Pinnock.
Yeah,
all right, cool.
And them 3 elite level they we have. But if we get 2 more in, problem is one. I tell you, problem, brother.
If we can really make a statement in this round of fixtures, right? And we can pin back the teams that are ahead of us and get enough points to be seriously mathematically back in contention. The last round, if you know, if we can really and truly make a push for the likes of a Baker and get them Demari Gray in, trouble.
Bro, brother, I wonder if the man them who really realize who Louis Baker is, brother.
Yeah, man, baller, man.
The man is a baller in a bad, bro. We don't have that in our side. The man is stepping in Migla Jamaica side. A problem for some side.
He's a serious baller, man. Serious.
You know what I mean? So and he's young. He's at the age. He got the age same way. So
yeah, man. He might like what? 25, 26.
25, yeah, 25, I think. Right? And that you there. So if we get these 2 players in, as I say, if we beat Mexico, it will only ripple across the world saying Jamaica beat one of the top 2 sides in CONCACAF in a World Cup qualifying. And that's always gonna be something good, bro.
Hold on the Guna, you just say something with the spark something in my mind. Isn't Mexico like in 11th spot in the rankings right now, in the FIFA World Rankings, 10th or 11th or something like that?
Me never checked. The last time I think it was 11 when they put out the last one.
Them not they're too far out the rankings, you know.
No, Mexico is top 2 in a CONCACAF, you know. Are US alone above them?
I mean, in terms of the overall world rankings.
Oh no, man, them always in the top 20, man.
Yeah, man, I know them in the top 20, but I think them they're like 11th, like just outside of the top 10. Earlier in the year, I think they were.
I think the last one that I saw, they were at 11th or 12th, and I was surprised because I didn't know that they were that high. Yeah. But they always have been in the top 20. You know, for the longest while, they've always been in the top 20 as it relates to the world rankings.
US the high too, you know, US, because I think
US the high.
Too, you know. I think US probably the 10th or something like that.
US the high. US I think in a top 10 now.
Yeah. And you know, them always have bias in, well, I shouldn't say that still, because them say the rankings is an objective mathematical thing. But you know, it might be an incentive for FIFA promoting the world game to have the United States in the top 10 rankings. Just saying. Allegedly.
Just saying. Well, you know, allegedly. Watching on a formula. Look at the numbers now. The US have 300 million people. Jamaica have 2.7.
Yeah.
Put that in context.
Yeah.
Mexico probably 100 million people. Or something like that.
Yeah.
So these countries are huge as it compares to, you know, Little Jamaica.
Yeah.
And so their pool of players are going to be vast. And so it's always going to be Mexico, US, or any other else people. And them man, they are going to run the thing. Because them man, they have a huge pool of players because they have a huge pool of people. They have way more people.
Yeah.
So we know we have to just use quality and we have to just draw up on our pool in the diaspora for try to
I think the thing with us doing, you know, I think we have more concentrated quality, you know. Right? And I think that is evident by the amount of top class players with Jamaican heritage. You see England producing. Right? I think even though we have smaller numbers, if we were to get the development aspect of our thing, you know, up to scratch, we could have got toe to toe with America and Mexico too, because I think we have more concept. I think yes, they might have a larger populations, but I think the talent is more concentrated amongst our people, is more heavily concentrated
It's more heavily concentrated by
amongst our
far.
people.
As we say, if you compare a 300 million country to have 2.7, you can lift up Jamaica and drop it 3-4 times in a New York State alone.
Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah.
So we're not even looking at that. We're not even compare that. But the concentration of talent and the ability that we have physical specimens on this island, which is a gift, and heritage, the heritage passed down to those born outside of the island, to be great physical specimens. So we have, all right, you have some places, there's a place in Africa where the people are very tall. I think them called the
Yeah.
Maasai. And
Yeah.
the average height for men and women is like 6 foot. So everybody's above 6 foot. They are born to play basketball if they choose to. So it's just us now. We have speed and we have strength, which is a part of the Jamaican genome. So we have to just know, so all right, we have to just harness that properly. And you mentioned the word development, and that's something that I agree with 100%. We have to just harness that skills that we have in our heritage passed down, and it's still passing to people outside. So that is why I am a big advocate for we looking at not just the island but looking outside, because Jamaica spread all over the world.
Yeah.
Don't be too surprised if within the next 3 years, within the next World Cup cycle, you have a Jamaican born in Brazil who wants to represent Jamaica.
There is a
Don't be too
Jamaican
surprised.
born in Brazil eligible to represent Jamaica, Him name Leo Chow, I think him name. Yeah, man. Born in Brazil and eligible to represent us.
Right, because I have 2 Jamaican friends where Brazil them live.
Mm.
You understand? I have 2 Jamaican friends where Brazil them live. One is a musician and one is a photographer. And them have kids. So don't be surprised.
Them they all over the place. I mean, Fire Nord have a right back named Denzel Hall, right? Grasshopper Zurich have a right back named Argoni, Javan Anderson, where the Dutch player who plays in Italy. Them the Jamaicans, they're all over the place, Bertrand. All
Yeah,
over.
so we just need to, make the playing for Jamaica look appealing to these players, so that they can forward in and add some quality to what we have. And we can't fight the pool. We have a big pool. Let's use it. We don't have it. We don't have the amount of players on the island to substantiate the team. We have to look outside because we're a small country.
Yeah.
And people keep on forgetting that. We at a 2.7 million people are going up against teams that have 100 million people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And holding our own.
So imagine if we can reach out and get Naira and get. Because remember, we are Jamaicans. We travel. Jamaican is the most traveled nation on the planet, bro. Jamaican the everywhere. You see it. So I can tell you that. As me go places where I never expect no Jamaican today. Black people not even there much as Jamaican. And when me look, 200 black people there, and 25 out of them are Jamaican. You know what I mean? Yeah. I go Poland already, and no Jamaican, no black people not there. So. And when you go Poland, you find some Jamaican forward and they there and a par with we and bring food come give you and the whole night. You see?
Yeah.
So you have to just know, say Jamaicans are everywhere. So if you find players out there, people go out there, they have kids. When them go out there, you want to make sure, say, at least when them do them maths, you have them kids who can qualify for Jamaica. They can come and add quality to what we have on the island.
Yeah. All right, so guys, I think that is it. We have covered a lot in this preview. A very good show it was. I personally think that more than likely Paul Hall will try and play on the front foot. I think you would have watched the last 2 games that Mexico played in the World Cup qualifiers and saw that Mexico had problems with Canada and America, because both those teams would have gotten up into the faces of the Mexicans and giving them very little time and very little space on the ball for them to be comfortable. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the strategy that Paul Hall tries to employ today. I think we'll win it. I agree with Guna. I think we will sneak out a 2-1. I think Funes Mori will get chances and he will miss those chances. I think Mikel Antonio will bulge in it, right? I think Mikel Antonio has scored in previous games of breadcrumbs. Today, I think different gaffer. I think we'll see the ball getting into the final third a lot more often than we would have seen in previous games. Honestly, I think we'll get a positive result tonight from our standpoint. Hopefully, the other game, Costa Rica against Panama, guys, after our game is finished, a big game taking place in Panama that will potentially have a massive impact for us as well. So, you guys can look out for that game as well. And hopefully Costa Rica can go down to Panama. And if it's even get a draw, man, if it's even a draw, so we can try and peg back this Panama team. Seeing so, I think the result from our standpoint in our game will go in our favor. Hopefully, results elsewhere go in our favor. Thanks to all the viewers, for watching today's stream. Smash the like button on your way out, guys. Free and easy way to support the channel. And it was a good show, man. We put on a good show for you guys today, man. At least you could have do a give away a like on the way out. It is much appreciated. Thanks to all the viewers, the commenters in the comment section. Couldn't get to all the comments. It's basically impossible to highlight and address all the comments, but we try as best to get to as many as possible. And lastly but not least, big up to all the panelists that jumped on. Sir Richard and Alex was on earlier. Eddie Guna jumped on, and also Jamaican Guna as well, and provided very valuable input into the discussion. So their contribution is very much appreciated. Hopefully, we can get these 3 big points tonight, guys. Hopefully, we can get these 3 big points and we can put in a convincing performance. We'd love to see we have more than 40% possession of the ball. We'd love to see we can string 300 plus passes together in this game. We'd love to see we get into the final third, with frequent regularity. So, guys, take care, stay safe. Join us at 6:30 for the watch along coming up later. And until next time, guys, stay safe.